money. I'm gonna go and save you guys. Hey, listen, right here, I just saved you guys from X amount of a big mistake, right? Very, very powerful. Now, let me talk about our business model. I'm gonna teach you guys today, okay? It's called Airbnb Arbitrage. For those of you guys who are brand new, you have no idea what Airbnb Arbitrage is. Here's the SparkNote version. Number one, we're gonna go and introduce ourselves to landlords. We're gonna get their permission to rent their unit and list the unit on Airbnb, okay? And then we go and collect the profit. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do this the best way, the most accurate way, and how to make that difference, that profit, as big as possible. Okay. So Airbnb arbitrage is a great business model for those who have a genuine interest of getting into real estate, who understand that the game that we play with real estate is a game of compound income, you see, a game of compound income to do what at the end of the day? What are your long-term goals? To go and take that income and dump it into ownership and build wealth with that. Okay. If that resonates with you, if you guys are here and you have a genuine interest of getting into real estate, if you want to play this game of compound income to then go and be able to build wealth, do me a favor, type wealth in the chat box. Let me know if that aligns with all of you guys, okay? Type wealth in the chat box if that's what your guys' long-term goals are, right? It's really important for me to see that because it tells me you guys are here for the right reasons, okay? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And not only just go and build wealth, guys. Today, I'm going to pencil it out very clearly for you to understand how can you build wealth at an accelerated rate, faster than you could have ever been able to before in the past. I'm going to make that really clear for you guys, okay? Now, this business model has a low barrier to entry, extremely high cash flow as well, especially if you do it right, okay? And then that way we can go and take that and dump it into ownership. So here's my goal for you guys today. My goal is to give you the strongest introduction of how you can go and replace your full-time 9-to-5 income with only 1 to 3 Airbnbs, okay, that you don't own and without utilizing any of your own capital. Guys, let's hop right into it, all right? So once again, guys, I'm gonna go and share with you my agenda for today, okay? Seriously, get ready for a lot of gold nuggets and a lot of gems. I'm gonna be dropping it all throughout our live training today, okay? So first, I'm gonna go and share with you guys my background, and then I'm gonna go and hop into talking about the best investment strategy. I'm gonna pencil out the numbers very clearly for you so you can understand what type of return on investment this is and how powerful of a strategy it is, right? And then I'm gonna tie the whole thought process together by going and painting the picture of my 3 top Airbnb secret. Number 1, how to identify the most lucrative Airbnbs. Let me share with you guys my strategy. My strategy is a high profit only strategy, okay? Let me be really clear about what I'm not an advocate of. I don't like the whole get 100 of unit to make a meaningful profit. No, I'm the exact opposite. Manage less, make more. Again, replace your full-time 9-to-5 income with only 1 to 3 properties. That's it, period, okay? And then once you understand how to identify these very lucrative Airbnb, then you need to understand how to fund them, 0% interest, okay? And let me explain this too. What's really powerful in all of this is I notice most of us that are tuning in today are all within the United States, right? Guys, we live in a system of which has something called 0% interest funding from banks. Nowhere else in the world has this. Nowhere else in the world has this. You know, so many people outside would kill to have what we have here at your fingertips. So therefore, you guys owe it to yourself, to your financial education, your financial future, to understand how our system works so you can utilize our system and make our system work for you, okay? Great. So I'm going to go and share those secrets with you as well. And then I'm going to go and talk about how to go and pitch like a pro. I'm going to answer the question, Calvin, why would a landlord agree to this? Why would anyone ever agree to this? How do I present myself? What do I say? I'm going to give you guys my sizzle pitch. And with that said, I'm going to go and say once again, today, I'm going to be delivering information at a very, very high level. Most likely you guys come in today, you guys have a lot of questions, of course, but throughout our live training, most likely I'm going to answer those questions. I'm going to give you a lot of value as well. But if for whatever reason, okay, you want me to expand on a topic, you have a question for me, do me one big favor, please, everyone, okay? Save your question for the very end. I'm going to open up a Q&A session. Now, I'm going to make a promise with all of you right here, right now. I will not stop our live training until every single question is answered during that time, during the Q&A when that opens. So therefore, I will ask all of you just to help us stay on track, right? Because there's going to be people that are coming in late and they're going to miss this announcement. It might get a little cluttery in the chat box. It might start to get, very distracting for you guys. So if you guys can help me out, if you can just remind those individuals, hey, Calvin asked us to save question during Q&A at the very end, that'd be super helpful for me, okay? So I'd really appreciate if you guys did that. But anyways, let's hop into our agenda today. Let's have some fun. Let me share with you guys my background first, okay? So I'll share with you guys, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Calvin Tran. Absolute pleasure to have you guys here on Sunday. I'll share with you, I have a background in medicine, a double graduate's degree, one in physician assistant studies, and a master's in public health. 2023 was when I retired from my career in medicine. And actually, I got started in real estate not that long ago from today. I started in 2021. After my very first year, I broke $100,000 per month mark. After 3 years, I became a decamillionaire. Currently, I own over 13 million worth of real estate, but I started here as the middleman. Okay. Currently, my entire real estate portfolio of what I own and what I control is over 30 million. My current Airbnb portfolio generates over 2.5 per year, and I'm very proud of creating hundreds of multiple six-figure earners and many, many seven-figure earners as well. Here's how my journey went. So I started in 2021, and I'll share with you guys here in my first less than 6 months, I was able to go and hit a really big milestone in my own personal journey. I had my first $30,000 month, okay? $30,000 month here. And this is really representative because this was when I replaced my full-time income as a PA. So I was really, really proud of that. And fast forward from December 2021 over to 22, I cracked $100,000 per month mark. Really awesome thing here is this is just Airbnb. I'm on VRBO as well, so it just shows you the total from Airbnb. Fast forward from December 2022 over to 2023, I cracked 2 million. And so once again, really, really proud of cultivating an incredible group of elite hosts. We call each other high performance hosts, HPH fam. And it really is a big family because most likely in any city you guys go and search up, within the top 5 ranked Airbnbs, one or maybe all 5 of those individuals have learned directly from me. All right. And so let me go and share with you guys too, I really want to show you guys what is really possible in all of this when you go and apply yourself. Okay. When you go and get started. Kevin, after his very first year, this is with 5 Airbnbs, $60,000 a month. Marissa, 2 Airbnbs, $40,000 a month. Long with 9 Airbnbs, $144,000 in a month. Tim, cosmetic dentist, 3 Airbnbs, $40K a month. Long and Ken, I put these guys in here for a very special reason. Okay, let me tell you their story. It's funny. His name is Long Tran, but these guys are very different. I met him last year, 23. This is Long. He's in his early 30s. He's a pharmacist. But the cool story about this Long, I met him last year. 23 years old, active duty Navy. Okay, you can see his come up right here. This is with 2 Airbnbs, by the way, doing $50,000 a month. Present day, he's doing 100K plus a month at 24 years old. Ken, I met him at 22 years old. He barely just graduated his undergrad, became an engineer, got a job as an engineer. After his 1 year of meeting me, he started doing $60,000 a month with 4 Airbnbs. $60,000 a month with 4 Airbnbs. Now he's no longer working as an engineer. And so the point of me sharing this with you guys is that all of these individuals start off with 9 to 5, okay? Just like many of you guys watching today. They came from no real estate experience, no business background, and they grew these portfolios using none of their own money and without owning any real estate. And I want to share with you guys, I taught each and every one of these individuals a very powerful lesson in life and in business. This is a mindset piece, something that helped me get through very tough times in my life, transferred very well into medicine and my medical career, and also transferred very well into entrepreneurship. And it goes like this. Deep down in your heart, truly believe, if they can do it, why can't I? If Calvin can do it, why can't I? If stay-at-home mom can do it, if retiree can do it, if a 22-year-old, 24-year-old active duty military and everyone in between can go and do it, why can't I? Right? There, I want to go and open your mind to what is possible. And when you go through it, when you prove to yourself that you can do it, your personal development will grow. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, you will reach the message that I truly want you to take in. And I want you guys to experience this. And it goes like this. In this crazy life that we live in, guys, okay? Nothing on this earth is impossible. Especially when you learn how things work, how money works, how money moves. I promise you, you will truly understand nothing is impossible, okay? And so with that said, let me go and share with you guys my story, how I got into Airbnb, how it changed my life forever. So it started here, actually, during my medical training. I picked up this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Who knows this man? Let me know in the chat box. Who knows Robert Kiyosaki, right? I'll share with you guys. This is the book that did it for me. Okay, it got me deep diving into financial literacy, trying to understand how are people actually building wealth, right? Shout out to you guys. I see you guys in the chat. For those of you guys, by the way, who never heard of this man, buy this book, okay? Trust me. This is amongst top 5 books of self-made millionaires, self-made entrepreneurs, okay? And also, I'll tell you guys too, this is the book that flipped the script in my mind. YouTube, podcasts, I digested everything. I have a very obsessive personality. And everything was pointing towards real estate. right? So I studied real estate. And when I got into my career, I'm hit with the reality check. I got 200K student loans, and I'm still finding myself somehow living paycheck to paycheck, right? And so this whole financial freedom concept I kept reading about, it just seemed impossible to me. Because like in the book, right, for those of you guys who have read it, and for those of you who haven't, let me tell you a little bit about it. He talks about a cash flow quadrant, right? Cash flow quadrant in this book. And it's like how you move amongst these ranks through these quadrants in life as a, trying to level up into becoming an investor. So it goes like this. The first quadrant, you start off as a W-2 employee. And then the next quadrant, you move into becoming self-employed. And then the next quadrant, you go and begin building a business, right? And then in the last one, you become an investor, right? So it's like these ranks that we move through, right? And the interesting thing is when I studied this in depth, I realized there's one common denominator amongst moving down these ranks. And the common denominator is income, money, capital, right? And so when I realized, okay, what problem do I need to fix right here, right now for myself? I have an income problem because my long-term goal now is to go and get into ownership. So how do I go and fix my income problem? Great. Well, I do the same exact thing what all of you guys would do. Do what you're already good at. Increase your hours. Get another job. Do whatever it takes, right? I'm working 2 jobs at this point, 60 to 80 hours a week, wanting to save so badly to get into rentals. And then it was time for taxes. Calculating all my numbers, and I'm asking myself at this point, why the hell am I killing myself 60 to 80 hours a week? And after taxes, that's as if I'm working 3.5 months for free. I was killing myself. My relationship suffered because it really felt like no matter how hard I worked, I couldn't escape this 9-to-5 rat race, because the more I worked, the sooner I realized I'm working so hard to make someone else rich, right? And that did not sit well with me. And it's interesting too, because I learned that from Robert Kiyosaki, right? And some of you guys maybe are in medicine, some of you guys are maybe not in medicine, and you're like, Cal, well, you're in medicine. What do you mean by that? It's sad because nowadays, when it comes to a provider, the value of a provider nowadays is solely based upon how much they can go and produce for a company, right? Just curious, anyone have a similar background as me in medicine, right? Shout yourself out, any PAs, NPs, nurses, doctors out there, PTs, OTs, dentists, right? Shout yourself out in the chat box. Because here's the thing, in my medical practice, right? They labeled me as the top producer. Can you believe that? In a medical office, top producer, right? So maybe instead of recognizing me for my work, some of you guys are in like a different field, right? Dang, there's a lot of you guys. What the heck? I had no idea. And so the crazy thing is some of you guys are in different industry and you're looking in at me and you're like, okay, well, if you're the top producer, shouldn't you get paid more? No, none of that happened, guys. Instead, they took advantage of me. They controlled my value, right? How much experiences I can have, what type of time off I can go and have with my family. And like most of you guys, I was stressed of what a 9-to-5 can bring into my life. Here I am working 60 to 80 hours a week, overworked, underappreciated, living in a high cost of living area, 210K student debt hanging over my head. My wife had 140. We're 350 all in student debt. And you're trying to tell me to go and invest into some real estate. How? Impossible, right? And it's interesting too, because during this time, what I realized was I was actually in business the whole entire time working a W-2. I was in the business of selling my time for money. And that was my biggest limitation, right? Same business as many of you guys are in today. But what I realized in all of this was if you continue to sell your time for money, you will continue to clock in for the rest of your life. And so I realized that there's only one other option for me to go and figure out how can I go and increase my income, right? Now I have $40,000 saved up at that time. It's time for me to start some side hustles. I got into e-commerce, Amazon FBA. I got into trading stocks. And to be honest with you guys, I blew it all. I lost everything. But I got to learn my first biggest lesson in business and in life as well. And I'm very thankful that I got to learn that early. So let me share this with you guys so you guys don't make the same mistake I did, okay? My wife, in all of this, she said to me, she was like, honey, I'm so sorry about all of this, but do you even care about the whole e-commerce thing, the whole trading thing, or are you just doing it for the money, right? And it blew my mind because it took me a while to articulate, but she was 100% right. I did not care for these things, okay? My long-term goal was real estate. And so the lesson here was that I was completely misaligned. I was doing things for the wrong reason. So the point of which I want to go and share this with you guys is if you guys are here and you think this is get rich quick, this isn't for you. If you're here and you have no genuine interest of getting into real estate, there's a high chance that you're going to fail. Okay? That's why at the very beginning of our live training, Okay. I ask all of you, who here has a genuine interest of getting into real estate? Who here understands this is a game of compound income? And who here has the long-term vision, the long-term goal of getting into real estate and to own and to build wealth? You understand? Okay. That is one of the biggest things I want to go and stress is alignment. You have to be doing things for the right reason. And when you get aligned, that is when I finally got to experience life-changing success. Okay. And during this time, I'll share with you guys, I was still working full time. You guys do not need to quit your job because you saw something online. Don't do that, right? You know, you hear those stories. I quit my job. I went all in on business and like, you know, I was a wild success. Please don't do that. I think that's irresponsible and very, especially financially irresponsible. Okay. Don't do that. You can totally build this on the side. During this time, I was still driving a 12-year-old Hyundai, right? You guys don't need to let lifestyle creep. We were still renting a bedroom in a home, okay? $500 a month while I was cranking $100K plus a month, okay? My wife and I, one bedroom in a home, $500 a month. Couldn't even go out and cook in the kitchen or eat in the dining room. Couldn't do any of that because we were so dialed in for our long-term vision. And we were reinvesting everything back into the business. Guys, and it all paid off. Here's how everything is going. I retired from medicine. This is my very last day in the office, January 20, 2023. Shortly after that, I retired my wife from her dental career. She was a hygienist. And we grew our portfolio to 30 million plus of real estate. I bought my parents' Airbnbs before I ever even bought my own personal residence. And by no means do I want to go and paint this picture to you guys that my journey was perfect and beautiful. It wasn't. It was far from that. I made tons of mistakes. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I tested my crazy theories, and I still test theories to this day. I took a lot of L's, but I turned those L's into lessons, guys. And that's how I'm able to be sitting here in front of all of you, compiling my years of experience to give you the craziest live training that you guys are going to see in 2025. Guys, let me know if you are following me. Let me know if you guys are ready. Let me know if you guys are pumped up. Give me a let's go in the chat box if you guys are ready to go and take over the rest of 2025. Let's go. Come on now, let's go. Woo! You guys got me fired up. You guys can tell I'm a big energy guy, okay? I feed off of you guys. You guys can see me, I can't see you, but what I can see is that chat box. Let's have a lot of fun, guys. Let's have a lot of fun today. So let me give you guys this cue, okay? So from this point forward, every single word that I say is going to be extremely, extremely important. I need you super dialed in from this point forward. You cannot miss one single word that I say, okay? It is very important that you dial in, take really good notes, take screenshot, take picture. I don't mind. This is for you guys, okay? Very good. Now, with that said, let's have a lot of fun, okay? Guys, let me talk about Airbnb Arbitrage and why this is the fast track, okay? First, I have to pay homage to the OG way. This is how 80% of millionaires are made, right? They purchase a piece of real estate, right? A rental. They put in a tenant. The tenant pays down the mortgage. You get the appreciation, and you can cash flow maybe $200 to $1,000 a month. Phenomenal, right? This is the original way. Nowadays, a little bit harder, right? Why? Because our interest rates are quite high. That's why investors aren't really buying a lot of long-term rentals right now, because the interest rates are high. Therefore, their mortgage is a lot more than what they can actually rent the unit out for. That's why people aren't buying, right? And so with that said, too, I want to go and compare this to the new way, okay? The new way. Having a vehicle, and the vehicle is a figure of speech, just so you understand, once again, it's what is my problem I'm trying to solve right here, right now for myself, and that is an income problem. And this vehicle is going to go and take me from point A to point B being ownership. You see, building wealth with ownership, right? That's what I mean by having a vehicle. And what vehicle are you going to go and use? Today, I'm going to use Airbnb Arbitrage, okay? And so let me go, and I always love to do this example and answer the question I get asked all the time. The question goes like this. I always get asked, Calvin, why would I want to go and rent someone else's unit, pay down their mortgage, when I myself can go and buy a piece of real estate? I can get the appreciation. I can buy an Airbnb. I can get the appreciation on that, right? And I can have my Airbnb guests pay down my mortgage, and I can still cash flow, right? So let me go and answer that question. The way I want to go and do this is I'm going to go and outline simple numbers. I'm going to compare and contrast. What if I bought an Airbnb, and what if I rented the same exact Airbnb, okay? So follow me. This is going to be examples relative to my market. I live in Southern California, so these numbers are going to be relative to my market, okay? So let's say I'm Calvin. I've done my market analysis, beautiful, found a phenomenal deal, furnishing gorgeous, all my strategy, A through Z, beautiful, right? Here, I found a deal. Purchase price, $1 million for this Airbnb. Okay, for me to be able to get into this deal, I need a 20% down payment. That's $200,000. Now, this is my mortgage, my PITI. Okay, my principal, insurance, taxes, interest, all built in, $7,200 a month. This is my biggest overhead, of course, my cost to operate. Okay, and let's say on average across the whole entire year, I can go and profit $2,000. Phenomenal, very, very good. Please don't get me wrong. This is a very good deal. Okay, now, what if I rented this same exact unit? How do the numbers go and pencil out? Let me show you. Okay, so here, the market rent for this unit, what the market says it's worth is $4,000. For me to be able to get into this deal, I need a 1 month rent plus a 1 month deposit. That makes $8,000. Now, let me go and make my first two greatest points as to why Airbnb arbitrage is the fast track. Why is it better, right? So if it's the same exact unit, right? What is our biggest overhead, our cost to do business every single month? It's my rent versus my mortgage, right? The difference here alone, we're talking about $3,000. Therefore, point number one, rental arbitrage is way cheaper when it comes to my biggest expense every month. My expense is way less. So if my expense is way less, it's the same unit. It'll go and produce the same amount of income, but my expense is way less over here. That leads me to my second point. It's way more profitable, okay, when you're doing a rental arbitrage model. Let me go and make my third point. Let's talk about the amount of capital that is required to go and do business, okay? $200,000 down payment to purchase, $15K to furnish, $215 all in to go and make $2,000 per month profit. Still very good. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But here's the thing, compare it to rental arbitrage model, same exact unit, first month in deposit, same $15,000, right? Same house. Over here, I'm $23,000 all in to profit more than double. But my cost here, guys, okay, is almost 10 times less. That's my point number three. The amount of capital that is required is way, way less. Point number three. And so let me ask all of you guys in the audience this. Let's pretend everyone watching right now, you guys in the audience, all of you are the investor. All of you have 215 grand right here, right now. $215,000 right here, right now. Where would you guys want to go and allocate your money? Do you want to go the old way and purchase a unit, or would you rather allocate your 215,000 to the new way? Let me know in the chat box, old way or new way. Which way you guys going, right? 100%. Let's work smart. Right? So with $215,000, how many deals can I go and do over here, right? Well, with $215,000, I penciled it out for you. Here, I'm doing 9 of these deals, right? So if I allocate my money over here, I'm doing 9 of these deals. That means I profit 9 times as hard. Now I'm talking about 45K profit per month. Let me ask you guys a quick question. Help me out with some math real quick, okay? If I'm doing 45K per month profit, how much profit will I make in 5 months? Right?
45K per month.
If I'm making 45K per month profit, how much profit will I make in 5 months? Can you guys help me out with the math real quick? What does that make? 225,000, right? 225,000? Thank you, Jason. Yeah, so if I'm making $225,000 profit every 5 months, wait a minute, guys. Isn't that enough to go and purchase $1 million piece of real estate? Yes, it is. So you're telling me with $215,000, I can do 9 of these deals. When I'm profiting $45,000 per month, now I can go and purchase $1 million piece of real estate every 5 to 6 months? Yes. Damn. So you see here, when you work smart, okay, not only can you go and build very high cash flow, remember, game of compound income is what I said, right? And as also said, you can build wealth at an accelerated rate faster than you could have ever been able to before in the past. This is why this strategy is so powerful, okay? And not only that, guys, okay? Some of you guys are probably like, okay, I understand the concept, Calvin, that's great, but I don't have $215,000 laying around for me to go and invest, right? Here's the thing, guys. Getting access to $215,000, 0% interest business funding as cash from banks is very easy if you understand how our system works. And I'm going to teach that to you guys today, okay? And open your eyes to the system that we live in, what you guys have at your fingertips, but you just don't understand how to utilize it, how to tap into it. That is called financial literacy, okay? Very good. I'll share that with you guys today. So, therefore, this is why Airbnb arbitrage is the fast track. You understand? This is why this is the best investment strategy. Now I have full control of my active and my passive income. Anytime I want to go and get a raise, guess what? I add another unit. Anytime you guys want a raise, you don't have to ask a boss. You go out and you get it. Add another unit, guys. Okay? Because I want to tell all of you that you guys have full control of your life. 99% of people live life on autopilot. No goals, no nothing. And you guys also hear the people, they come into this year, they say, I want to get into real estate. I want to start a business. I want to start making passive income. You know those guys. Up until this point, they took zero action. I'm here to tell you guys that you do not need to live life on autopilot. It's time to turn it off. Okay? When you want a raise, go out and get it. You don't need to ask a boss for a 3 to 5% raise every year when inflation was more than that. So if you got a raise, or if you did not get a raise, no matter what, you're losing money at the end of the day. Okay? That's the most important thing. So therefore, you need to understand, what vehicle do you want to go and use to get to your long-term goals? How are you going to increase your income? You understand? And guys, and how are you going to go and take that and dump it into wealth building assets? And that is the playbook that I'm going to go and give you guys today. Let me know if you guys are still following me. Drop me some fire emojis in the chat box. Guys, we're about to hop in the meat and potatoes of everything. Let me know if you guys are fired up. Drop me some flame emojis in the chat box. Let's have a lot of fun. Let's go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very, very good. Okay. Now's another recommendation too. I see a lot of people watching on their phones. I'm going to highly recommend for you at this point, blow it up on a big screen. I'm going to do market analysis example. You want to see this very clearly. And if you don't, I promise you later on, you're going to say, Calvin, I can't see what you're sharing on your screen. And it's because you're on your phone. Fair warning. I said it now. Okay. Blow it up on a big screen. Okay. Beautiful. So guys, let's have fun. Here are my top 3 Airbnb secret. Okay, number 1, how to find the most lucrative Airbnbs. This is market analysis. I'm going to find a deal live with all of you guys watching. I'm going to be talking out loud so you understand what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking. It's going to be very, very important. Okay. Once you understand how to find the most lucrative properties, then I'm going to teach you guys how to secure funding 0% interest. Again, if you guys live in the US, you guys have something at your fingertips. 0% interest funding from banks. Nowhere else in this world has this. Okay. You guys owe it to yourself, to your financial education, your financial future, to understand how our system works. Then I'm going to teach you guys how to go and pitch like a pro. How do I get a landlord to agree to me? What do I say? I'm going to give you guys my sizzle pitch. Once again, guys, I'm going to please remind everyone, please save your question for the very end when I open up Q&A. Most likely, I'm going to answer all of your questions during our live training today. Okay? Well, one more thing. Let me give you guys 2 really big, huge tips. And I call them disclaimers even. Okay? Here's number 1. If you guys want to get into business, okay, if you guys want to get into real estate, please hold yourself to the highest standard. Everything you do, try to be number 1. Try to be the best at it, okay? You cannot Mickey Mouse your way through. You cannot half-ass your way through business and real estate, okay? Please think about the caliber of what we're talking about right now. I have a very hard job to teach you guys that. Yeah, you guys enjoy yourself. You have fun. We talk about really good topic, but I want to go and point out, I have a very hard job. 2 big topics. Number 1, I'm teaching you about business. Number 2, I'm teaching you how to invest in real estate. This is not easy. Get real. Okay? So therefore, please, all of you guys, from everything that you do, from the very beginning, from the information you digest, to how you execute, to how you carry yourself, to how you do business, everything from A to Z, hold yourself to the highest standard possible, period. Okay? Extremely, extremely important. So this is a very valuable lesson, okay? And here's the secret of the universe. Your business is a direct reflection of you, okay? And it's okay. You don't have to be perfect now, but I want to explain these things so you take the appropriate action, and I promise you, you will fit into those shoes. Promise you, okay? Very good. That's number 1. Here's my disclaimer number 2. It has to do with our very first Airbnb secret, how to find the most lucrative Airbnbs. This is AKA market analysis. This is where 99% of people get it completely wrong. This is an absolute pillar of our business. If you cannot compute numbers, you don't have a business. That's called failing, okay? You'll lose money. And so I'm going to show you guys today how to do it the most accurate way and the best way to find the most lucrative Airbnbs. So here is my disclaimer number 2. This is really big. If you guys want to be the best, if you want to be high profit, if you never want to lose money, okay, there is no such thing as a shortcut to what I'm about to teach you guys. The day that you go looking for a shortcut is the day that you will lose money. I guarantee it. I'm saying it right now. Don't go looking for shortcuts. There's no such thing, period. Okay? Good. So with that said, sorry I got to get a little bit serious, but this is a very serious topic, okay? But now let's have fun. Please, everyone, dial in. This is going to be very, very important, okay? So let's hop right into secret number 1, okay? This is the market analysis portion. First, I have to debunk 2 myths. This is the top 2 leading cause as to why people lose money in this business. Number 1, Calvin, my Airbnb has to be by the beach, right? By downtown, by the airport. That way it can perform really well, right? Wrong. This is what I call I think, I feel, I heard, my emotions. Okay? All wrong. No successful investor has been successful consistently based upon what they think, they feel, they heard, their emotion. Never. Us as investors, this is my medical side coming up. Us as investors, we need to learn how to look at data. We have to make data-driven decision, not emotional-driven decision. Emotional-driven decision is the number one leading cause as to why people lose money in business in general, and the number one leading cause as to why people lose money in business and real estate. Okay? We need to make data-driven decision. Throughout our live training today, you guys are sitting, you're watching, you're understanding these big concepts that I'm explaining to you guys, but in the back of your mind, I want you to ask yourself, okay, Calvin, I understand you. Show me proof. That way you really understand what we're talking about. Okay, that's how I want you to think. Okay, very good. So that's number one. That's the number one leading cause as to why people lose money in this business. Here is number two. Okay, second leading cause as to why people lose money. It's gonna shock a lot of you. AirDNA. Everybody knows AirDNA. I'm here to tell you AirDNA is completely garbage. It's super, super inaccurate. Okay? Well, yeah, oh. Some of you don't know what AirDNA is. Let me explain to you what this is, okay? So it's a piece of software, and this is true for all software, okay? You see this all over online. People endorse this software called AirDNA. They say like this. They say, take an address, put it into the software, and it gives you all the numbers. It tells you what can you charge per night, what is your percentage occupancy, how much you can go and generate per year. All crap. All super inaccurate, okay? Okay, Calvin, show me proof. Here. Let me explain. So let me give you guys background information before I explain this slide, okay? So here's the background information. There's a very common trend on the Airbnb platform. The trend goes like this. When a host, they no longer want to host anymore, they don't take the listing down like a normal person. They don't do that. They don't take it down. What they do is this, right on the screen. They block off the calendar months and months and months and months in advance, right? It doesn't look very organic. No 2-3 day openings, nothing like that. It's just crossed off solid. And also what they do is they jack up the price super high, $900 per night, astronomical. So it's unreasonable because that accomplishes their goal, right? If they don't want anyone to book, they're going to block off the calendars, number one. But if there's any open days, then what they do is they jack up the price really, really high. So nobody books. Unrealistic. So whenever you see something like that, you're like, okay, well, next we got to check the reviews. Well, when it comes to reviews, right, you want to see reviews, recent reviews from this month, August, last month prior. That way it tells you the data is legit. But here, no, you don't see that. You see May 2024 as the very first review. May 2024, April, and it jumps to 2023. It's extremely inconsistent. Therefore, when you see this, you recognize this. You're like, this is one of those units Calvin was telling us about, right? And you're going to see this is a very, very common trend on the platform. Now, let me tie it back to software. This isn't just AirDNA. This is all software on the market, okay? The problem is that the software cannot tell the difference between a real booking and a blocked off day. It cannot tell the difference. It counts it all as real bookings at the inflated rate of $900 per night, astronomical rate. So therefore, the software, it sees this information, it cannot tell the difference, it counts it all as real data, and then it eats it into the algorithm and therefore artificially inflates all of the numbers within the software. So the next time somebody goes and takes a 2-bedroom address, plugs it into this Boston market, it's gonna go and tell that person this unit is gonna go and perform a lot better than it actually will, therefore leading them to lose money. You see? So therefore, you should never ever depend on a piece of software to make your investment decision. There's no such thing as a shortcut. Don't be lazy, okay? Never ever depend on a piece of software. This is the top 2 leading cause as to why people lose money. Guys, I have 200 people in the room right now. Let me know I was able to save all 200 people from making a massive mistake by typing no AirDNA in the chat box. I need all 200 people. I'm not moving unless all 200 people attending right now type no AirDNA into that chat box to let me know loud and clear I was able to save all of you guys from a massive mistake and you understand me. Good. Very, very good. Okay. Don't ever depend on a piece of software to make your investment decision. Very good. Excellent. Now, let me go and teach you guys what truly matters. Okay. Here we go. This is my high profit criteria. Don't worry, I'm going to break everything down in its own slide, okay? Here. Here's my first high profit criteria. Let me give you guys background information. Let me explain that, and then I will explain this slide. So here is the strategy that I'm going to go and teach you guys. It is called a reverse engineering technique. Reverse engineering. That means we are going to start on the actual Airbnb platform. We're going to start on the Airbnb platform, right? And on the Airbnb platform, I care for two metrics, the only two that I care for. Number one, on Airbnb, who is charging the most? Who's got the highest average daily rate, ADR? This is some good terminology for you, okay? So on Airbnb, I want to go and see who is charging the most. And of those people that are charging the most, I want to see which one of them stay fully occupied, right? And so when I put these things together, who's charging the most, and of the people who's got the highest ADR, which one of them stay fully occupied, essentially, I would identify all of our best performers on the Airbnb platform, okay? And so if I can go and see who is generating the most money on the Airbnb platform, that is what I call highest and best value. This is a term that I had coined, okay? So when I'm able to identify all of the best Airbnbs that are generating the most money on the platform, I found all the highest and best value. When I have all of them, then I study them very in depth, right? I look at metric like, what is the bed and bath configuration that's doing the best? Is it the 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, or 5-bedroom in this market? That's the best of the best. Geographically, exactly, where are these guys located, right? I need to know their exact location, right? What type of amenities do they have? Do they have a pool, right? Is it a pool? Do they have a hot tub that they put in, or do they have a game room? Or do I need a balcony, right? A balcony or a rooftop with the city views, for example, or maybe I'm in a market where I need mountain views, right? What is it exactly that the best of the best have, right? And then also what kind of caliber of unit, right? What type of unit do I need? Can I get away with an apartment? Do all the best of the best look like apartment? Or does it look like a penthouse vibe? Or does it look like a single family home? What is it exactly? Right? So when I can go and understand all of these metrics about it, I kind of come up with my criteria. So I know what type of unit I need to look for, right? And what type of unit I need to acquire and rent. So when I put my product out into the market, it reflects highest and best value. So that's how I know I'm going to perform like the best of the best. And I'm going to show you guys all the detail lifetime, okay? So I want to explain the theory first, okay? So that's what I call highest and best value. And then we go and I'll teach you guys how to understand the data. Once again, we're making data-driven decisions, okay? Very good. And then, of course, here's where I see the majority of highest and best value, okay? Usually it's modern homes. Modern homes is pretty subjective to everyone, so let me explain to you what that means exactly. When it comes to modern homes, I like two things about a unit, okay? Number one is I like to see nice kitchen and nice restroom. Nice kitchen, nice restroom. That's really all that matters. Because when you think about it, right, how much can I really update a living room or a bedroom to make it super modern? Not a whole lot. That's what furnishings are for, right? But the core of it is nice kitchen, nice restroom. Okay, very good. And then amenities. I see highest and best value. Usually these guys have some sort of amenity, right? Like a hot tub or a rooftop or a really nice backyard or a pool, depending on your guys' markets. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that today. Now, the next thing I want to go and show you guys is the 75-55 rule. Take a picture, take a screenshot. Okay, take a picture, take a screenshot. I'm going to help you guys out. I'm going to post it into the chat. Okay, so in case my typers, you can copy and paste it really easily. Okay. This one, I like to save it when I'm doing the live market analysis example, so I can teach it there. It's going to make a lot more sense. Okay, very good. Now, let me go on to the next slide. This is our strategy. I'm going to teach you how to reverse engineer what works, AKA please do not reinvent the wheel. Reinventing the wheel is called guessing. We don't guess. I'm going to teach you how to be pinpoint accurate, how to never lose money in this business, period. Okay, follow me. Next is once we understand exactly what works, once we understand highest and best value, we study all the attributes, what bed and bath configuration, geographically where, what type of amenities, what type of caliber, then we find these exact units for rent, right? And then we go and run comparables. In real estate, you must learn how to run comparables. I'll teach you, okay? Good. So over here, I'm going to teach you how to use the most underrated market research tool, Airbnb.com, okay? We're going to go and look at the highest nightly rates, and we're going to go and save the Airbnbs with the strongest calendars. All right, let's do our example. So I'm going to give a really strong recommendation here, okay? Don't replicate me right now. It's a big, huge disservice to you, okay? You want to watch, understand every single detail that I show you, and pay attention to the visual and audio, okay? All right, so first, okay, I need to teach you guys search filters. So first, I need to talk to my Californians. I'm going to talk to my Californians first, and then I'm going to talk to everyone outside of California, okay? So the website for all of my Californians, if you live in California, you must use this website right here, airbnb.co.uk. The reason for that is because last year, Airbnb changed the way that our view looks for Airbnb, okay? And so therefore, if you live in California, you must use this website, airbnb.co.uk. Now, this puts you in the UK, so all the prices are going to be displayed in British pounds. So at the very top right, you see my mouse right here. There's a little globe button. Click that. And then you're able to go and change your currency over to USD. Okay, so from British pounds over to USD. Okay, so californians.co.uk. Now, for everyone else outside of California, if you live outside of California, no problem. You can use regular Airbnb.com. Could it be more straightforward? Okay, good. Now, let me give you guys my search filters up here. Okay, so first, you guys can look up any market you're interested in. Hawaii, Seattle, Texas, Florida, whatever market you guys want to go and study. The art of market analysis, my way, my strategy is applicable worldwide to get pinpoint accurate. Okay, follow me. Okay, so any market you're interested in, leave the dates alone. Don't put anything here. Okay, crank the guest count up to 6. Okay, search up a market, leave the dates alone, 6 guests. Hit search. Very easy. Okay, very good. While we are here, we're gonna go at the very top. Okay, we're gonna click filters. And I'm going to go and filter a minimum of 300 plus. This way, I force Airbnb to only show me the units that are charging $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000 per night. Again, I'm targeting highest and best value. Okay, so I hit the minimum 300 there. Let me hit show. And then what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to open up all of these Airbnb. I already have them open up at the top just to save us time, right? But I just want to point something out. When you zoom in closer, more Airbnbs pop up. And I opened up all of them just so I can go through our examples at the very top, okay? So let me show you guys exactly how to do market analysis, okay? So first thing I want you to look at, okay? Very first thing I want you to look at, scroll down, jump right into the calendar. This is all I care for you to see. Rock it all the way back to the current month, okay? Now, I want everybody to draw your attention over to the chat box, okay? Let me draw your attention over to the chat box. This is where I'm gonna explain the 75-55 rule now. Okay, so the 75-55 rule is a rule of occupancy that I created. It is a very, very strict rule, okay? And once again, if you want to be the best, if you want to never lose money, and if you want to be high profit, you have to stick to these very strict rules, okay? So let's look at the 75 rule first. Let's read that one together. So it says, in the next 30 days from current day, we are looking for 75% plus occupancy or 22 days booked, okay? So let's go and apply that, okay? So the 75 rule. In the next 30 days from current day. What is our current day? It is August 17th, yes? August 17th. So in the next 30 days from current day, August 17th to September 17th, the 17th to the 17th, I want to see 75% plus occupancy or 22 plus days booked. So let me show you the easy way. Count the days unbooked and subtract it by 30, right? So 1 night, 2 nights. 2 nights unbooked, subtract by 30 days makes 28 days. Very good. So 75 rule is met, okay? And now let me draw your attention back to the chat box. We have the 75-55 rule. Again, it's 2 separate rules that must be met. Let's read the 55 rule together, okay? So it says in the next 30 to 60 days, I want to see 55% plus occupancy or 15 plus days booked. Okay, let's look back at the calendar. So 30 to 60 days. So September 17th, right? September 17th to October 17th. We want to see 55% plus occupancy or 15 plus days booked. So here we can see very clearly is book solid, right? Very good. So 75 and 55 rule is met. Both have to be met. If they are, very good. Now we have to fact check to make sure the data that we're looking at is legit, that we know that it's not just blocked off days. How do we do that? We click the reviews. We go and filter to most recent, and we want to see reviews from this month, right? This month, last month, July, the month prior, June. Very good. You see how it's very clear. It's undeniable that this data that we're looking at is legit. Okay, very, very good. So when we see that, when 75-55 is met, when we have recent reviews, we hit save. Okay, and every time you save, just like imagine it saves it to like a bookmarks list. Okay, so later on we can come back and study them. Okay, here, next one. Let's look, okay? Let's rock it all the way back to current month, okay? So we said in the next 30 days from current day, the 17th to the 17th, we're looking for 22 plus days booked. Let's count. 1, 2 days unbooked, that makes 28 nights. So check, 75 rule is met. Now let's look at the 55 rule, 17th to the 17th. This looks book solid too, so 55 rule is met, right? So we want to go and click the reviews, go to most recent, and we see 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. All of these recent reviews are there. Absolutely gorgeous. This tells us that the data is legit, right? Very good. Hit save. Let's keep going. Okay. Rock it all the way back. Okay. 17th to the 17th, check, right? 17th to the 17th, check. And so we just have to fact check and make sure that these reviews are recent. Gorgeous. 2 weeks ago, July, June. Beautiful, right? All the reviews are there. Okay. Save. All right. Next one. Here we go. 17 to the 17th. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days unbooked. 6 days unbooked minus 30 is 24 nights. Check. 75, 55 is good, right? Excellent. Now, we need to look at the 55 rule, the 17th to the 17th, right? We want to see 55% plus occupancy. I'm going to post this back into the chat for you guys, just so it's at the top, okay? 17th to the 17th, we want to see 15 plus days booked, right? Very easy. Count the days that are booked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 plus days booked. Very good. 75, 55 is good, okay? And then next, we go and click reviews, and we go and rock it back, right? We see all these reviews are very recent. Gorgeous. 75, 55 rule is met, right? When you see that, you hit save. Beautiful. Okay, let's keep it pushing. I have a lot of examples for you guys. Bear with me because I want to give you a lot of exposure. Okay, good. Here we go. 17th to the 17th. Check. Let's see. 1 night, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 nights unbooked. Beautiful. Okay. 7 nights unbooked. So that makes 23 days booked. Check. So 75 rule is met. 55 rule says the 17th to the 17th. I want to see 15 plus days booked. Very good. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 plus days booked. Gorgeous. 75, 55 rule is met. And recent reviews are there. Beautiful. Okay. All the reviews are there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Save. Let's keep it going. Okay. So now you guys should begin to understand me pretty well. And now you have a little bit of pattern recognition, right? So let's go a little bit faster. 17th to the 17th. Check, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days unbooked. That's 23 days booked. Gorgeous. 17th to the 17th. Okay. That's 15 plus days booked for sure. Click the reviews. And we want to see recent reviews. This tells us again that the data is legit. And by the way, whenever you go and you hit save, imagine you're saving it to like a bookmarks list. So then later on we can go back and study them, okay? Here we go. 17th to the 17th, check. 75 rule is met. 17th to the 17th, check. 55 rule is met. Gorgeous. Here we go. Most recent reviews, all there. 1 day ago, 1 week ago, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, great. All the reviews are there, okay? So again, this helps us fact check and make sure that the deals are legit, right? Let's go to the next one. Okay. So the 17th to the 17th, way too many open days, right? 75-55 rule is not met. So if you're not booked, you're not making money, you're losing money. I don't care. I'm just going to exit out. I'm going to X out. Okay. And I continue. So I want to share with you guys like what I'm trying to teach you right here, right? So let me tell you at the core. I'm helping you give you a black and white rule, a 75-55, so you can quickly get through a market and decipher good deal, bad deal, good deal, bad deal, good deal, bad deal, right? Because the bigger picture of what I want to show you guys is the importance of making quick decisions, fast decision. In business, that's very, very important, right? Because when you think about it, any opportunity has that shows up to you, a good opportunity in life, whether it's real estate or whatever, right? You think a good opportunity is going to sit there and wait on you to make a decision? It's not, right? Somebody else who can make faster decision in business is going to go and yank that deal from under you, okay? So I want to explain to you, okay, the power of what we want to work towards. I don't expect anyone to be perfect now. but I want to explain to you guys, okay? So that way, you know where to work towards. So this is just the building blocks of making quick decisions, okay? So I just want to point that out to you, okay? Very good. Let's keep going here. Let's crank through these. Okay, 17 to the 17 check, right? 17 to the 17 check. 75.55 is good. Just a couple more examples, guys, right? We've got very recent reviews, good. Let me move faster now. Just finish out the examples, okay? 17 to the 17th, very good. 75 rule is met. 17 to the 17th, let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, very good. 15 plus days booked. We got the recent reviews. Gorgeous. Okay. Almost done with the examples, guys. Hang in there. Okay, here we go. Okay, so apparently 75.55 rule is met. Very good. And reviews, most recent. Here, 2016. Right? No, boy, no. This is an example like what I was telling you guys. This is example of the reviews. This data is not legit, so we can't trust this data. We're talking about 9, 10-year-old data, right? Next. Okay. 17 to the 17, check. 17 to the 17, check. Very good. Reviews. Most recent, all there. Okay, good. Save, last two examples, last two. Okay. 17 to the 17, check. Okay. 17 to the 17, check. 75.55 rule is met. Reviews. Gorgeous. All the reviews are there. Okay, and then last example. Okay, very clearly 75.55 rule is met. Okay, beautiful. Excellent, right? Good, so all the reviews are there. So now at the very top, I have all the best performers in the market, right? That are charging the most and staying fully occupied. Now let's study them, okay? Now I want to teach you where to look, okay? Keep your eyes right here, right? So here, the first thing we look at now is the 2-bedroom, okay? So the 2-bedroom, I want to be able to calculate how much money are they making a month, okay? So let me show you a couple of things. Whenever you see a calendar booked out this far in advance, right? When you see it booked out this far in advance, 3 to 4 months out in advance, it tells you that the price is too cheap, okay? But let's say, let's round down. Let's call it 300 per night, okay? 300 per night times 30 nights is 9,000. So we can see here, this 2-bedroom is generating approximately about $9,000 to $10,000 a month. And it's cheap because it's booked out so far. So this 2-bedroom generates about $10,000 a month, right? About $10,000 a month, right? 2-bedroom. And I want to show you guys something. Like, look at this unit. It's nothing special. I joke around. I call these grandma units where I say it looks like someone's grandma furnished it. No offense to any grandmas watching out there. Statue of Liberty room. But it's crazy. You know, this 2-bedroom is cranking $10K a month, and it's nothing special, okay? This one. Another 2-bedroom. Same thing. About 10K plus a month all day long. Super booked out. You look at the unit, the caliber, it's nothing special either, right? Next one, 2-bedroom, okay? Again, booked out super far in advance. We're talking about 10,000 plus a month all day long. Again, when you're booked out this far, it tells you the price is very cheap for a 2-bedroom, okay? Another 2-bedroom, booked out super far. Once again, 10,000 plus a month for a 2-bedroom, right? 2-bedroom. Okay, 450 per night. Let's see how much this one's pushing. Up there. We're talking about 12K a month, right? 12K a month. 400 times 30 is 12,000. 12K a month. Okay. This one. Same thing. About 12,000 per month, right? About 12,000 a month. Over here, 500 a night. This one does about 15K, right? So, and what about, this is a 3-bedroom. Okay, so now let's do a quick recap, right? So these guys, again, we can see them booked out so far in advance. That tells us their price is cheap, right? So this one can probably go and charge about 400 per night and do pretty well and start cranking 12,000 a month, right? Same thing with this one. Booked out super far in advance. That means it's very cheap. This one could probably do about 400 too. So therefore, right, like these guys are like the regular schmegler, right? But then it starts to get nicer. You can see the caliber of unit, right? So these guys are up there. They're charging 450 a night and they're doing great, right? Over here, this one is 450 a night and this very polished looking unit and they're doing very well for themselves as well. 12,000 a month. So here we can see the true average, okay? The true average for the 2 bedrooms, the average is going to be 12,000 per month. Very good. So we understand that. So now let's look at the 3 bedrooms, okay? Let's take a look at the 3 bedrooms. This one, about 9,000 a month, right? About 9 to 10,000 a month. Over here, this 3 bedroom, approximately 12,000 a month, right? Approximately 12,000 a month. Over here, another 3 bedroom, approximately 12,000 a month as well, right? Approximately 12,000 a month. Over here, 3 bedroom, yeah, about, 10K a month about, right? And so over here is a 4 bedroom. So this is not the same. So these 3 bedrooms, right? These 3 bedrooms is about 12K a month. And then how about this 4 bedroom, right? So this 4 bedroom does about 15K a month. But the thing though is only one single example. This is more advanced. I'm not going to talk about this today. I'm kind of talk more basic level for you guys. Okay, so we're going to X that out because we only have one singular example of a 4 bedroom, right? So now we're boiled down to an average for 3 bedrooms, 12,000 a month. And the 2 bedrooms do the same, average of 12,000 a month. So if the 2 bedrooms can do 12K a month, the 3 bedrooms can do 12K a month. But obviously now we have to think about the cost, right? What is my cost to do business? What do you think the difference is for our rent between a 2-bed and a 3-bed? Maybe $1,000 a month, maybe $1,500 a month, the difference? So where do you guys think we should focus? Where is our highest and best value? What has more profit? 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom? Let me know in the chat box. What's our highest and best value in this market? 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom? Right? Good. 2 bedroom, right? It's cheaper, but it can generate the same money. So it's more profit, right? Very good. So now we know, now we can look at the unit, right? So we can see what type of caliber of unit. Now we need to know the location. Okay, scroll down. Okay, so now we know highest and best value is 2 bedroom. Very good. Now I scroll down, I look at the location. Let's use a landmark. Here's the Hoboken, here's the path we see here. Very good. Next, okay? Scroll down. Same thing, location here. Beautiful. Okay, very good. 2 bedroom, okay. And I'm paying attention to the caliber, right? Okay, so I feel like they're all hovering in this area. This one, don't tell me it's in the same exact area. That's going to make our lives a lot easier. Yeah. So we know we got to hang around here, right? Okay, so these guys are charging the most, right? 450, right? And we can see the unit looks nice, but it's poorly executed, right? It's poorly executed. It doesn't look, the photography is not very good at all. The furnishings aren't very good at all, right? But then this location, let's see again. Yeah, they're all literally right here. Okay, a couple more 2 bedroom like here. This one is really nice, right? Really, really nice. Nice unit, good looking furnishings, well presented. And it makes sense why they're doing so well. Okay. Same location. Okay. And this last one here is see, the special thing I want to point out about this one is like, well, what makes this one so special about the others, right? The kitchen isn't super modern like the other ones doing $450 a night. But how is this one commanding 500 plus a night, right? And everyone else is at 400, 450 for the other nice ones. Well, it's the amenity. It's the backyard. See, so now we know, number one, modern units crush it, like modern looking units. And number 2, a nice amenity of having a backyard is really, really hot, right? And so let's double check this one location as well. Oops. Same. So they're all here, okay? So one thing I want to go and point out to you guys is this, okay? Now, true, these, regular schmegular units, yeah, they can do 10,000 a month, but I never want you guys to settle for less. Always choose the top end, the best of the best. Go for the best of the best. Always choose the best of the best, okay? So we want to go and find a unit that more so replicates the best of the best, okay? So number 1, modern, plus or minus, backyard. Okay, so let's hop on Zillow, okay? Let's go to for rent. Let's now search up that market. So now we look at 2 bedroom. Okay, so let's go to filters and clean this up a little bit. So we got 2 bedroom. Let's do an exact match to only show me 2 bedrooms. And usually when you're talking about 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, I always love to recommend for you guys 2 restroom plus. This makes you more premium, right? Because if we look at these guys, right? Here's a 2-2, right? This one is a 2-1. This one is a 2-1, right? So I want us to kind of trend on the most optimal side. Okay, so I like 2-2. And just as a side note, whenever you have a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 4-bedroom, 1 bath, 5-bedroom, 1 bath, that is a little bit of a weak spot. You're a little bit handicapped compared to everyone else. Okay. So anyways, 2-2 here. Let's apply. Very good. And here's the market. I know we said we want to stay towards like this lower half here of this market. That's where all of them were. So let's zoom in. Let's take a look at these deals together. Okay. So let's see what 5K a month looks like. Oh, damn. Actually, I did not expect the first one for me to click would be nice, but this is very nice. We're talking about 5K rent. Okay, cool. They got all the cool amenities too. How about this 5K? Let's see. Not bad. Super nice as well. Super nice. Okay, I like that. I did not expect to find really good deals right away like that, but here, let's choose some ugly ones. Let me show you some ugly ones. Here, let's see. So, excuse me, not ugly, but bad examples, right? Like this one is not representing the best of the best, right? Because I want you guys to go for best of the best. Let's see what 3,800 a month looks like. You see? Right? Unless y'all got a backyard, this won't cut it, right? Let's see what else we've got. Let's see what 4,400 is. You see? So I want to show you examples, good examples, bad examples, so you get a real good feel for it, right? Okay, let's see what else we got. 5,500. Let's see what this looks like. And like I will say too, this is nice, but the other one for 5K is just as nice, if not nicer. So I'd rather stick to that one, right? I'd rather stick to one of these two. I like that. And like, here's the thing too. I really like these deals, and some of you are probably looking at it. You're like, Calvin, 2-bedroom, $5,000 a month. That's astronomical, bro. That's a lot of money, man. Every month. I agree. I'm not crazy. $5,000 a month for a 2-bedroom is crazy. I know, but I never want you to freeze up or get scared because of this. Because I know a lot of you guys come in today, you have a lot of questions, you don't know what you don't know, you feel like this is risky, but don't worry, the more strategy I show you, the less risky it will become. But also, why be afraid when 2-bedroom of this caliber can generate $12,000 a month all day long? No, excuse me, 2-bedroom of ugly caliber can go and push 10K plus a month. Why? So why are you afraid of this? Don't be afraid. The more strategy you understand, the less risky it becomes. I'll teach you guys today, okay? In a little bit, I'll show you how to de-risk completely. Let's see, what's 48? Dang, check me out. We got a nice backyard. Okay, so I really like this one too. So I'm in between 3. Which one do you guys like better? I'll ask you guys. You guys like backyard, or do you guys like these 5K ones? Backyard or 5K? You guys pick. What do you guys like better? Backyard or 5K? Okay. Oh, I thought we were going to be split for a little bit. We're almost. A lot of people love the 5K. A lot of people like the backyard. How about this? Okay. How about this? How about we take all 3, right? Let's say we take all 3, okay? Let's say we take all 3. They're all about the same anyway, okay? They all cost about the same anyway, okay? But everyone wants backyard. Okay, fine. We'll do backyard, okay? We'll do backyard, okay? So let's go and utilize this one as our example. Very good. So I like this one too, okay? So let me go and run this with you guys. So now I want you guys to pay attention right here at the nightly rate, okay? I'm just going to cycle through these, and I want you to pay attention to the nightly rate, okay? Now, of course, we are trying to replicate the best of the best. We're trying to replicate the best of the best. But I still want you guys to pay attention to all the other 2-bedrooms. So I'm just going to cycle through. Keep your eye right there and get a feel for it. And now let's calculate numbers together, okay? So I want all of you to participate. Don't worry about being wrong. It's not a big deal. We're just all enjoying and hanging out and learning, okay? So listen to my question first. Think about it for a second and then answer, okay? And I want all of you to participate. So here's my question for you. What is the lowest that I need to charge to be 100% booked based upon these comparables? What is the lowest that I need to charge per night to be 100% booked based upon these comparables? And remember, the lower end, right? They were booked out very far in advance, right? So we know that these are pretty cheap. So what is the lowest that I need to charge to be 100% booked? Good. I love your conservative numbers, guys. 350, 400, 450. 375. I like it. I love it. 420. I love it. 450. I see you. 380. 475. 500. Even I saw someone said, good. I like it. Very, very good. Okay. Excellent, guys. I love it. Okay. So let me talk about it more. Okay. So our unit here, right? Of course, we're going to go and we are trying to replicate the best of the best, right? So of course, our unit is most like this unit, right? And of course, we know that these guys do very well too. These guys are more on the modern side. These are around 450 per night. And one more thing, what we do know over here with these units, you know, they have no amenity, no backyard. And what we know is this, right? We said anytime you're booked out this far in advance, that tells you that the price is too cheap. So we know these guys should be more like 400, right? When they're booked out so far, the price is too cheap, right? And when you compare it to these guys, right, 450 per night, yeah, they're not booked out as far, but then the true number is around 400 per night. You see? Right? Over here, 450 per night. And over here, of course, we're talking about 530, 540 per night, right? So how about this? I want us all, based upon what we just studied, based upon understanding that those cheaper ones are booked very far in advance, meaning they're too cheap, let me ask all of you guys this question, okay? Can we all agree on one number? $400 per night. Can we agree? $400 per night. Type agree in the chat box if you agree with that. $400 a night. Can we all at least agree we will be 100% booked with that, right? Does that make sense? Very, very good. Very good. Okay, so let's use that. Okay, so $400 per night, 100% booked. Over here, okay, I'm going to go and remember, we're $4,800 rent. Let's plug it into our handy dandy calculator. So here we are. Okay, let me scroll down for you guys a little bit. $4,800. First month's rent, $4,800. Furnishing, we're going to allocate $12,000 to this 2-bedroom. I have all of these for you here. Take a screenshot of this. Basically, this helps you go and budget. So number one, you don't overspend and you don't underspend. Okay? You don't overspend and you don't underspend. Okay? Very good. And don't be cheap. Please. Spend the money. Trust me. It's worth it. You will get your return on investment. Okay? Over here, the patio, right? Patio furnishing. I put, you know, like, what is it? Up to 2K, but I'm gonna show out a little bit and spend another $1,000. So over here, we're about 25K all in. About 25K all in for this deal, right? And so here we're talking about rent is 4,800. Utilities average for a 3-bedroom is about 600. So I'm gonna allocate 500 for our 2-bedroom. We've got $50 for our internet. Insurance is $399. Let me type it into the chat so you can put it into your notes. Air cover for hosts. When you host on Airbnb, you get air cover. That is Airbnb's insurance. It's free for us when we operate on Airbnb. And it covers $3 million of damages. $3 million in damages. $3 million. Okay, let that sink in. $3 million in damages, meaning Airbnb is going to cover anything and everything, right? It covers $1 million in liability. It covers loss of income. So I want you guys to write this into your notes because you need to understand that. Okay, very good. The next thing is I want to go and talk about is what I'm actually paying for. If air cover is free, what the heck am I paying for? Let me type that one into the chat. Okay, proper.insure. All right. So proper.insure is an extra layer of insurance. I highly recommend all of you operate with extra insurance. And it's cheap. It's really, really cheap, right? Like for average for a 3-bedroom is about $1,200 per year. $1,200 per year. It's cheap. And so here it makes about $100 a month. Even though I have a 2-bedroom, I just like to be conservative. So over here, every single month, I'm rocking about $5,500 per month in operating costs. But then that doesn't include over here my cleaning costs. Okay, let's talk about cleaning costs. So you guys took a screenshot here. I'm going to draw your attention here because what I want to explain to you is this is your average costs for cleanings across the U.S. Cleaners are going to try to rip you guys off and charge you an arm and a leg, but here, I have this for you so no one can ever take advantage of you guys, okay? By the way, on the cheaper side is East Coast price. On the more expensive side is West Coast price. Yeah, okay, so this is very good for you guys. So over here, I take the more expensive. Again, I'm very conservative when I calculate, $140 per clean. So that means whenever your guests check out, your cleaning team go in, you pay your cleaners, okay? So this is your costs, right? And then the consumables is like, imagine paper towels, soap, that kind of thing, $15 per stay. So this is per stay, not per month, okay? About $155, all right? And so earlier, I know I asked 100% occupied, but I subtract 2 days to be conservative. How much does Airbnb take from us? 3%, chump change. And then cleaning fee. Actually, we charge the guests for the cleaning fee. So we never pay for it. The guest pays for it, really. So let me show you real quick, right? Let's go back to our examples, right? So like over here, the guest always pays for the cleaning fee. That's 185. Over here, 150, right? So yes, you can always make money on your cleaning fee, but again, I'm conservative. I just want to go and break even. I don't care to make money on my cleaning fee, just for our example and our projection, okay? You guys are going to notice I'm very, very conservative when I run numbers. And then we all said $400 per night. Gorgeous. Let's see what the total comes out to. Beautiful. So with our unit, we're going to go and invest about $25,000, 100% business credit. And when we go and invest our $25,000 for this unit all in, our unit is going to go and generate $11,000 a month. And then after all of our expenses, our rent, our utilities, et cetera, we go and land at approximately $5,000 profit per month. And then also that generated approximately $60,000 profit per year. We talked about a lot, guys. And let me ask you guys this question. For how many of you would you need one of these units to replace your full-time income? Type me in the chat box if you need one. If you need two, type two. If you need three, type three. If you need four, type four. It's all good. We're all family. We're cool. Right? Yep. Good. Now I like to teach by asking questions, okay? I know we talked about a lot, so let me tie the whole thought together for you guys, okay? Let me ask you guys this question. What business can you invest $25,000 one time? Once, right? You're investing $25,000 once, and it'll go and pay you $5,000 profit every single month. What business can go and do that? Okay? Point number one. Let me ask you guys another question, okay? Help me out with this one. The next topic I'm going to teach you guys is how to borrow this money 0% interest, right? And so in the US, when you borrow money from banks 0% interest, usually how long on average can you get that 0% interest for? You guys let me know real quick. Usually how long that is? 12 months, right? 1 year. Exactly. Yeah, 12 months. And so if I'm borrowing money from the bank and I have 12 months of 0% interest, I need to understand when will I break even on my investment, right? So very good. I put the up here for you. Okay. Number of months until break even. Very simple. It takes this formula. It takes the total amount invested. Okay. Divided by your monthly profit. That makes 4 months and change. And so what's interesting about this is I want to let you guys know any business that can break even in 1 year is a very good business. Any business that can break even in 6 months or less is an incredible business. Okay. And so, you know, here's my third point for you guys. Okay, so here's my third point. Check this out, right? Well, you know, if we put 400 per night, but let's see what 450 looks like. Do we have room for 450? For sure, we have room for 450, right? Cool. Well, there you go. That makes about $6,000 profit. Beautiful. Do we have room for 500 per night? We sure do have room for 500. Let's see what that looks like. About $8,000 profit. That inches closer to $100,000 profit a year. But you know what? I'm a very conservative guy. I'm just going to go and under project. Okay, $400 per night. And I go and profit 5K per month. Okay, so let me ask you guys something very interesting. Okay, actually, I already made this point. Here's my third and final big slam dunk point. I made this point already. Let me remind you. Okay, I already made it. It went over your heads. Earlier, what did I ask you guys? Earlier, I asked you, what is the lowest that I need to charge to be 100% booked? I did not ask you guys to shoot for the stars. I didn't ask you to give me some very unrealistic number. I never said that, right? I asked you guys to give me a very conservative number. And then with that number, we're able to generate a massive $5,000 profit per month with a conservative number. So if I ask you to give me your most conservative number and I'm able to generate a massive $5,000 per month profit, let me ask you guys this question. What happens to my risk? Where is my risk now? When I ask you to give me your most conservative number and that conservative number generates me a massive $5,000 profit per month, where is my risk now? Exactly. This is how you de-risk. I hope you understand that very clear, right? Let me ask you this next question. Can I ever lose money? Yes or no? Can I ever lose money? Yes or no? I can never lose money. How? How can I ever lose money? Right? Even if I go down to the worst of the worst, okay, 350 per night, right? Even if I go down to the worst of the worst, 350 per night, I still make $4,000 profit. Even if I go down to 300, okay, I still make $2,000 profit per month. I can never lose money, period, on this unit. Even if I go down to 200 per night, okay, there you go. But we never have to get that low, period, right? So let's go back here, okay? So let me explain this to you guys too. I put another really fun metric right here, okay? It says number of long-term rental units needed to reach $5,000 profit per month, right? And in this formula, I just took, assuming every single long-term rental generates about $1,000 profit per month, right? So let me ask you guys this question. You need 5 long-term rentals, each one profiting $1,000 per month to equal one of our deals here where you only spent 25K. Let me ask you guys this. How long is it going to take you or anyone else to go and save up and buy 5 long-term rentals that go and generate $1,000 profit a month? Let me know. Most people will never even make that. 100 years. Most people could never, right? That's why I want to share with you guys our strategy. Guys, let me know if you just learned something extremely powerful. Type powerful in the chat box. Let me know if you just learned something so powerful that it can literally change your guys' life. Powerful, right? That's what I'm talking about, guys. And that's exactly what we did here. Look, we used Airbnb, right? We filtered for the highest nightly rate, 300 plus. We saved all the units with 75-55 rule. None of this is possible unless you understand my basic principle, 75-55, how to calculate conservatively what highest and best value means. You understand? Nothing is possible without those principles. You have to understand, right? And when you save, this is what it looks like. Save, 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 save. This is what it looks like, right? And here's 2 things I want to explain to you. Point number 1, right, is when you guys are doing this, okay? Point number 1 goes like this, is earlier, we only studied a little tiny baby area of the market. What if you understood 20-mile radius, 50-mile radius, 100-mile radius, right? And I see people saying summer, winter rentals are completely different. Did you guys not see those calendars booked out till December? We're exiting summer now, right? That's why my strategy, you have to understand my strategy and you have to listen, okay? And save your question for the very end, right? And so, you know, we only studied a little baby area, but imagine if you understood 50-mile radius, 100-mile radius, right? Imagine you understand all the highest and best value in a 100-mile radius. You have so much crazy deal flow, okay? That's point number 1. Point number 2, right? Point number 2 is what? Is, well, we knew in this market, my highest and best value is going to be 2-bedroom, right? Well, don't forget, what if I look right now, there's no two-bedroom available? Don't forget about our 3-bedroom. So A++ tier is going to be 2-bedroom, but then our B+ tier is still going to be 3-bedroom. 3-bedroom still generating $12,000 a month. That's very good. That's very, very good, right? And so, amazing. You guys understand me. You guys understand my flow. Now that I know I got your guys' attention, you guys are like wide awake, like, holy crap, this is serious, okay? Guys, get ready for your next set of gems. Get ready for your next set of gems, okay? So, now that you understand how to identify them, now you need to understand how to fund them, okay? So, very important. You guys have to understand this question. So now I'm going to teach you guys more about business, how money works, how money moves, and about OPM. You have to understand this foundational question. What business are we in? Let me explain. We are in the business of borrowing, guys, because every single time I borrow, I get paid. And here's what's interesting. It's completely the opposite of what I've been taught growing up from my parents and my teachers. I was always taught debt is bad. Don't go into debt. Let me see in the chat box, who was also taught the same exact thing growing up? Debt is bad. Don't go into debt, right? So many of us, most of us actually, right? And it's pretty funny because I went into 200K student debt to get my degree because growing up, I was taught, Calvin, you got to go to a school. You need to go to school. I was taught, Calvin, in order to become successful, you need to have a good degree, a high-paying job, a secure job. But you guys know what's crazy? We're all adults. We all lived through 2024, 2025. How many of you guys, right, whether you went through it, whether your significant other, your spouse, your close family, your friends, lost a job to what was supposed to be secure? And it's so unfortunate because growing up, I was always taught to look at one singular side of an issue, right? Because all my life, I was surrounded by people who only knew one way of thinking. They had the consumer mindset, right? who were only taught to look at one side of the coin. So they made decision their whole entire life based off of half the intelligence. But here's what's interesting is that once I started learning from high net worth business individuals, they started teaching me the exact opposite of what I've been taught growing up, right? What's interesting is this. This is what my mentor told me in the past. I want to share it with you guys. He asked me, you know, Calvin, how many sides of a coin are there? I said 2. And he says, well, if there's 2 sides of a coin, where does true intelligence lie? And I didn't have an answer. And he goes, true intelligence lies on the edge of the coin, where you can see both sides of it, where you understand both sides. And when he said that, that blew my mind, because once again, you know, I realized my whole entire life I was surrounded by people who only knew one way of thinking, the consumer mindset, who only knew one side. So they lived their whole lives making decisions based off of half the intelligence. And so when I started surrounding myself with these high net worth business individuals, I started realizing there truly is 2 sides of a coin here, right? They started telling me debt was good. So I found out that there's something called good debt and something called bad debt. You see, bad debt takes money out of your pocket every single month. The Gucci, the Louis, the car note, right? And the only way for you to be able to service that debt and pay that debt is from what? You guessed it, my JOB, right? But what happens if I lose my JOB? Now I'm in a lot of trouble. But you see here, when it comes to good debt, right? Good debt does not take money from my pocket. It puts money back into my pocket every single month, right? Because the expense of the debt isn't paid from my job. It's serviced by the income from the asset. You guys see? Earlier, I borrowed what? $25,000 from the bank. And that unit goes and generates me $11,000 a month. But after my expenses, my rent, my everything, it profit $5,000 per month profit. You see how it puts money back into my pocket. So I started realizing all my mentors were where they're at based off of the good debt that they created for themselves. In fact, every single time they borrowed, they got paid. So let me ask you guys this. Who wants to go and get paid? Put yes in the chat box if you guys want to go and get paid. Of course, everyone's going to go, yes, 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 yes. No doubt about it, right? Well, then let me ask you guys this. If every single time I borrow, I get paid, how much do you guys want to go and borrow? A lot, right? And so if the, excuse me, because if the value of our currency is going down by the second, right? How fast do you want to borrow it while it's still worth something? Fast, right? Because if I can borrow something that goes down in value, I can go and plug it into Airbnb Arbitrage. I can borrow more money. I can get more units. I play the game of compound income until I'm profiting 45K profit per month. Every 5 to 6 months, I purchase $1 million piece of real estate. Can you ever imagine buying $1 million piece of real estate every 5 to 6 months? You see what I'm talking about now? Do you guys understand the whole big picture I've been trying to paint for you from the very beginning of our live training? This is how you build wealth the smart way and at an accelerated rate. Powerful, right? Isn't that interesting to you guys? How many of you guys are maybe kind of like realizing maybe you've been raised by a consumer to think like a consumer, and maybe that's hurting you right now? Because the way that you've been trained to think and act on something as simple as debt has actually costed you money. And so I want you guys to realize that as investors, right, we have to think completely opposite when it comes to our time and when it comes to leveraging debt, right? Because from this point forward, you have to think like this, okay? We are now in the business of borrowing and turning money, right? How we think about money, how we utilize money, how we leverage money is completely different from what a consumer is taught. Guys, we are in the business of turning money into more money, right? And this is a really big statement right here, okay? Who agrees with this? Type agree in the chat box if you agree with this, okay? Your financial training and your financial mindset dictates your financial future, period. Who agrees with that? Your financial training and your financial mindset dictates your financial future. 100%. How many of you guys in the next 12 months, right? You want this to be the best financial period of your life. All of you. It's very simple. You tell me who you take your financial advice from in the next 12 months, and I will tell you exactly what your financial future will look like. And here's what I can tell you. I was taking financial advice from consumers who had jobs, but I wanted to start taking advice from people who were already where I was seeking to go. Because we start learning about money where? In the back seat of our car, at the dinner table, right? Listening to our parents. And something you must realize is this, is what you've been taught about money has created your current financial situation. What you've been taught about money has created your current money limitations. So is it possible that you were raised by a consumer to act like a consumer, and now you're stuck where you're at getting those consumer results, right? But how many of you guys want investor results? All of you, right? And so, therefore, the mindset shift needs to happen because you cannot continue to think like a consumer and expect to become an investor. Let me say that again, okay? The mindset shift needs to happen because you cannot continue to think like a consumer and expect to become an investor. It does not work that way. So the first thing I want you to understand here before I go and tell you guys how in a second is I want you guys to realize that if you live here in the US, you have the major blessing of residing in a system of which has 0% interest funding from banks. Nowhere else in this world has this. Again, you owe this to yourself, to your financial future, to your financial education, your future generation, to understand how our system works. So you can utilize our system at the highest level so you can unlock more funding to borrow more and to get paid more. Ladies and gents, let's hop right into it, okay? So again, these are just very powerful principles. You notice today is not just about how to get into Airbnb. Today I'm teaching you a lot about business as well, okay? Now, I'm going to go and break these down step by step. They have their own slides. Okay, so the very first one is opening up an LLC. Okay, opening up an LLC. You guys need to formalize yourself. You can't be Joe Schmo anymore. Okay, so if you have a CPA, you can have them open up an LLC for you. But if you don't, use LegalZoom. Very easy. This is what I used when I first got started. Okay, on LegalZoom, they have several different packages. Choose the one with EIN. Okay, EIN basically is like your tax ID. Just imagine. Oh no. It is exactly your social security number for your business. That's exactly what an EIN is. Okay, very good. And then create your name and state of formation, right? I'm gonna go and use, who should I use for an example? Who was that earlier? I saw Deb Correa, right? So I'm gonna go and use you, Correa. So I would go and do Correa Ventures, Correa Group, Correa Haas, right? Very, very good way. And notice how it's broad. I recommend for your guys' name, go broad, okay? Broad is better. Here's what you shouldn't put in your name. Don't put Airbnb, don't put vacation rentals, don't put stays in your name. Don't do that, okay? That's no good, okay? And then it's gonna get to a point where it asks you, you know, to elect what you do, your NCAIS code, right? It's gonna ask you, what does your business do? Put property management. What you should not put is vacation rental, Airbnb. Don't put real estate activity. Don't put real estate investing. If you did not build your LLC the way that I just explained to you now, you would have just made a $200,000 mistake minimum because no bank will lend you a single dollar if you did not form it correctly. Why? Because banks see this as high risk. They see real estate investing as high risk. Did you guys not notice how many deals did not have 75-55 rule? If they don't have 75-55, if they're not booked, that means they're losing money, right? So this is very important, okay? So if you guys were following me, I saved you from a $200,000 mistake right there, okay? There you go. Let me continue on. Next is when you have your EIN in hand, go ahead and open up your checking account, okay? You can apply online, but if you're like maybe a husband and wife combo, right? Two owners on the LLC, you have to go in person, FYI, okay? Remember to go ahead and elect as property management. When you're all done, let it chill, let it marinate. You're all done there. And the next thing is business credit. Okay, so let's talk about this. Credit in general is an 8-hour talk that I give. So let me give you the fast track, okay, the fast answer, because there's a lot of like rules and very nitty gritty things. But what I recommend to start off with Chase first, they have two really good cards, the Inc. Business Unlimited and the Inc. Business Cash. AMX is really good too. Blue Cash Card is really awesome. Bank of America is really fire. There's like 5 different cards, but it's for 9 months, okay, not 12. And a part of my high profit strategy too that I care about, another metric isn't just about the profit, but it's also about the break-even times. A part of my high profit is to go and break even in 6 months or less, okay? 6 months or less, okay? So there's that. And sometimes too, that's for you, Victoria. Hopefully you got that, okay? So this is just 3 banks, okay? This is just 3 banks, okay? There's hundreds of banks across the US. If you guys, maybe any active duty military or veterans in the building, thank you guys for your service. You guys have very good funding products too with Navy Federal, Pentagon Federal. Those are very, very good. All right. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Right. Cool. Oh yeah. And one more thing too. I get asked this question a lot, so I'm just going to answer it now. Calvin, what about my credit? I don't have good credit to start. It doesn't matter. Here. Let me type my Instagram for you guys. I have a free 100-point credit boosting guide. I have a free 100-point credit boosting guide. That's my IG right there. Just send me a DM on Instagram. Just say, hey, Cal, I was a part of your live training today. Can you hook me up with the 100-point credit boosting guide? Share this with your friends, share it with your family. I don't mind. This is all for you. All of you should have 800 plus credit. There should be no excuse, okay? I'm literally giving you a free guide on execute on my strategy. You will have 800 plus credit score, guaranteed, okay? Everyone should have it. Share with your friends, share with your family. You know, this is a part of financial literacy too. You need to understand, okay? Amazing. Yeah, send me a DM on IG, guys, okay? I just typed it into the chat box. Calvin Tran official, okay? Good. Alrighty. Yeah, all of you should have 800 plus. It should be a non-negotiable. I have very high standards for you guys too, all right? Good, so there's that. Excelente. And so next, we gotta go and give you guys the pitch. How to go and pitch like a pro, okay? So, three-step process, okay? Three-step process, okay? So number one, build rapport. Okay, this is very important in business. We have to like each other to do business together. Okay, so very, very important. Okay, the next thing is you need to become the expert. Okay, because if you guys expect someone to trust you with the $1 million piece of real estate that they own, you better know what you're talking about, right? Very, very important. Okay, and then also creating a win-win situation in business. You need to understand how to give value. It's a very, very powerful. Like all of these things is, again, it's not just about Airbnb. I'm teaching you very strong business principles too. You have to give value to someone else, okay? It cannot be a one-sided conversation. Like when you speak to another person, like a landlord, for example, you have to speak from the same level. I never want you guys to speak from a low level. Like, for example, you're like, please, Mr. Landlord, allow me to rent your unit and list it on Airbnb and make money off of you and just take. Right? Never, ever do that. Because, guys, you know, the way that I want you to go and present yourself when you speak to another landlord, you need to speak on the same level. Mr. Landlord, when you and I work together, this is how I can go and save you tens of thousands of dollars over the next few years. Mr. Landlord, this is how I can go and solve all of your problem, all of your headache that you have as a landlord, right? You see how that level of conversation is very, very different. Okay, so seriously, these three is very, very important. Okay, now, let me show you the main points of the pitch. Everyone take a picture of this. This is the main points of the pitch. All right. So let me talk about this. Okay. So everyone take a picture. This is all your main points of the pitch. Okay. So what I recommend for you guys is to go and set up local meetings. Go locally first. Practice in person. Trust me. Okay. I want you to go out 3 to 5 times a week so you can get really good. You can get sharp, right? It's a chance for you to like screw up, fumble over your words, right? Get to go and meet all the different personalities, right? Learn how to control the conversations. You can go and get your yeses, build your confidence. So that way you can become more and more sharp. That way when you're standing in front of a 5K plus profit a month deal, you don't fumble because you weren't ready, right? Very, very important. All right. So rock with that. So go in person, right? So like, let's talk about the interaction a little bit. So interaction. First, present yourself well, right? Wash your cars. I recommend that, right? Another thing that I'm going to go and say too is like, whenever you meet them in person, don't go and jump into your pitch right away. Okay, don't jump into your pitch right away. You know, what you need to do first is build rapport. Okay, build rapport. And so essentially too is, I see people saying that you can't see my screen. It's probably because you're watching on a phone, right? That's probably why. Yeah, I recommend if you can blow it up on a big screen. I said a couple times, maybe you guys gotten late, no worries. But if you blow it up on a big screen, you can see it, right? Okay. Anyways, let me go back to this. So go out and pitch. Go locally just for practice. Don't go and like jump into your pitch right away. Spend the first 10, 15 minutes touring the unit and getting to know the other person really well. Okay? Rock with that. Okay? Go out there, get to know the other person really well. Remember, when you are having this interaction and you're touring the unit, this interaction of building rapport, you want to go and be very, very genuine. This is a genuine experience, right? I'll give you guys a couple of things you can ask. You have to understand, what is people's most favorite thing that they love talking about the most is themselves. Okay? So you ask them, you know, what do you do for work? And ask them questions like that, right? That's a really powerful way to go, right? And another great way too is you can ask them, for example, you were driving into the neighborhood, Mr. Landlord. Oh, Mr. Landlord, I was driving into the neighborhood and I just noticed everything was just really, really nice. And by the way, I meant to ask you, how are the neighbors next door? Are they nice? Good for you to know, right? Another great question you can ask too is, You know, it seems like you take amazing care of this unit. Do you have any more properties like this one in the area? Good for you to know. And throughout this interaction, let them ask a question about you, right? If they talk about what you guys do for work, right? Talk about, you know, if they say things like, you know, this summer we went to the lake or we went to the beach or whatever you guys can relate to and you really love that kind of thing, that's great. You guys can laugh, you can joke, keep it professional, of course, right? And let's say you spend 10, 15 minutes touring the unit and then you want to go and transition into your pitch. Maybe you can say something like, you know, Mr. Landlord, I really love your home as it's a great fit as I own a corporate housing business and I'd like to lease your unit for 3 to 5 years. And with your permission, I'd like to sublease it to my clients. We have very strict house rules. No pets, no events or parties, no smoking, no noise after 9:30. And regarding security, we have very strong screening systems and we have cameras installed on the front, side, and rear of the home. So we have 24-hour surveillance of the unit at all times. And as far as insurance, I'm covered up to $3 million, and I also carry an additional layer of insurance as well. And I can always purchase more coverage if necessary. The home itself will have professional cleanings 1 to 2 times a week, so it's going to be kept in amazing condition at all times. And as far as the repairs, I will take care of everything less than $500. So I'm never going to call you. I'm never going to bother you with the little stuff. That way, this is truly a passive investment for you. And beyond just building my relationship with you, Mr. Landlord, my relationship with the neighbors and the community are equally important. I'm going to go and introduce myself to them, give them my business card so they know exactly who I am and what I do. That way, they can always call me if they ever need anything. But no one has ever had to call me in the past. Truly, my goal is to become your very last tenant and to make your investment passive for you. That means 100% occupancy, and you never have to deal with any turnovers, headaches, late payments, or vacancies ever again. How does that sound? Right? Like pretend all of you guys were just the landlord, and I was just pitching to you, right? You know? And as I'm pitching to you, you guys are like, okay, I have a question about this, I have a question about this, I have a question about this. But as I'm pitching to you, right, I'm answering all of those things. So what does that say about me? It says I'm a conscious business owner. I know what I'm talking about, right? And I want to point a couple of key details here, right? Again, I'm not saying these things to say it, right? I don't just say to say. I have everything to back it up as well. That's important, right? And then the other thing too is I didn't do anything special. I just have line by line. Line by line. I showed you guys line by line. That's just my personality, right? That's just my personality, right? And let me show you like a couple of things I want to point out to you. I want you guys to add all of this into your own pitch, okay? But I'm going to point out to you some of the slam dunk points. 3 to 5 year long lease. Landlords love this. Landlords love this so much, okay? Because, you know, one tenant always pay rent on time and they don't have to turn over. They don't have to put the unit on the market. It might sit 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. They lose a lot of money. So you can solve a big problem for them. Another really big thing, you know, I said we will go and handle everything less than $500. Guys, don't be afraid of $500. Air cover covers up to $3 million. Every little expense that you spend to go and maintain the unit, whatever the case may be, you will always get Airbnb to pay you back. Don't be cheap. Don't be worried. Don't be a short-term thinker. Understand long-term, right? The other thing too is, you know, they love this one right here. You know, emphasis on the long-term relationship. You know, my goal is to become your very last tenant, right? My goal is to become your very last tenant. That's a heavy hitter line right there, okay? So very, very important there. So one thing I'm going to go and compare and contrast again, guys, is like earlier, what was I telling you guys about, right? Earlier, I was telling you guys about good debt and bad debt, right? How there's always two sides of a coin. Same thing when it comes to the principles of the reality of Airbnb, right? Two investors might be looking at one unit. One is going to go and absolutely crush it and make a lot of money, while the other one is going to go and lose a ton of money, right? And some might say the biggest difference here is luck. But after you guys saw how I can go and guarantee profitability on units through market analysis, through understanding highest and best value, 75, 55, how to calculate conservatively and also completely de-risk, how you guys can see how we can go and secure funding 0% interest from banks, and how we can get landlords to say yes. So what do you guys think the biggest difference is from someone who's extremely successful and somebody who's struggling on Airbnb? What do you guys think it is? Do you guys think it's luck or education, right? Let me know in the chat box. Do you think it's luck or education, right? And that's why, you know, I always say, financial education will always pay you the highest return on investment, right? And here's the thing. I love what I do. I'm extremely blessed. I love coaching you guys on our live webinar today. And you guys see how I can go and save you so much time and money on our training today, right? Imagine this. Imagine if you can download my years of experience into your brain. If you can download my years of experience into your brain, do you believe that that will help you become extremely successful faster and without making costly mistakes? You guys think that's possible if you can download all of my experience into your brain, right? 100%. Guys, and that's exactly what all of these individuals have done to get the most incredible results. They fast-tracked their success because they were taught how to think like an investor, and they grew these portfolios using my copy and paste strategy to bring in predictable and completely passive income without ownership and by utilizing good debt, right? Like Bella, $70,000 booking. Judy, when she launched, 100% occupancy 5 months in a row. This is not by mistake. This is by design. This is with strategy. Jasmine and Jordan, these are my Canadian students. They are ranked #1 in the entire Toronto, Canada market. And their second unit is ranked #2. This is really awesome too. This is Long. He's the pharmacist. He went from 70,000 in one single month in July 2023. Last year, July 2024, he went and cranked 144K with 9 units. This year, he went and cracked $180,000. He's almost there to hit 200K. You know? So you guys tell me, you guys ready to make 2025 your best year ever? Type best year in the chat box if you guys are ready to go and take over 2025. Like Marissa last year, 250K. Bella last year, $370,000. Currently, she's surpassed $100,000 a month. Melissa, $360,000 last year. Long, he was the 24-year-old active duty Navy, $100,000 a month. You know, Jen, this is with 4 Airbnbs, $91,000 a month. Okay. In here, she says she's looking for her #5 and #6. This was not that long ago. Okay. Currently, she just signed #7. Kirsten and Jordan with 5 Airbnbs, 66,000. Tra with 8 Airbnbs, 130 grand per month. Let's go. Guys, if you guys liked everything you heard, you know, as a matter of fact, if you guys loved everything you heard, give me a hell yes in the chat box. Give me a hell yes in the chat box, guys, to let me know you valued all the gems, all the gold nuggets that I dropped. Straight fire, right? From the very beginning until the end. Now you guys understand why those that learn from me are so successful, right? Hell yes. I love it. You know, and guys, that is exactly why our students are joining High Performance Host Mentorship, because we're the #1 performing group on Airbnb, and that's just purely based off of results. And I could spend an entire month going through how successful our students are, from young students starting out to experienced professionals exhausted from their careers to retirees looking for a new challenge, stay-at-home parents trying to go and build financial independence. Anyone can become successful at this business model. Our students are saying things like, I learned how to go and increase my monthly and my active income by renting properties I don't even own. They said, I also joined High Performance Host because not only did I want to go and make more money, but I also wanted to understand how to not make mistakes and lose money. And so I showed you guys today how you can go and focus on high profit first. So by being a part of our group, you're not only going to learn how to make money, but you are going to represent top 1% of Airbnb hosts. And the biggest thing that you learn is how not to lose big on your deals, especially when you put your time and your money and your effort into it. Because the biggest thing that I hate to see is people go out and do this on their own and lose money. And more importantly, I teach you how to get your time and your freedom back, to be with your family, to be with your kids, and to do something that actually aligns with your long-term goals. So if that's important to you, if it sounds like you, if you want to go and surround yourself with top 1%ers on Airbnb, and if you have the drive to become successful and to change your situation, and if you guys were just saying you love what you learned in the chat box a second ago, I got something super special for you guys today. Let me share it with you. I'll drop it into the chat box. So this is my August webinar special. I just went ahead and dropped this link into the chat box. So this is a link for an application call for my one-on-one mentorship. I only do one-on-one mentorships. So I just went ahead and dropped this link. It is to book in a call. This is an application call with my team, okay? And so this is going to be for the people that want to go and join the HPH fam. If you want to go and work directly one-on-one with me, if you want to go and build financial freedom and invest in the Airbnbs without losing money, and if you want to scale multiple units per year and replace your full-time 9-to-5 income, then for all my real action takers, you guys are going to get $2,000 off, and we're going to get working with you to one-on-one to build your Airbnb business from scratch. Now, while you guys are booking in calls, let me share with you a little bit more about this, okay? So this call is not going to be a call to pitch you on the program or the community. It's the exact opposite. It is going to be an application call to see if you are a good fit for the community, because I don't just accept anybody, because I put a lot of time and effort into making this work for all of our students, because I really care about the quality of our group, okay? Now, again, we're the #1 performing group on Airbnb for a reason. And the only way for me to be able to be sitting up here and guaranteeing you guys results is by only working with action takers. That is the most important thing to me, okay? So not only do you have to have the motivation to be successful and share the same characteristics as our most successful students, okay, which I know what that looks like because we've seen so much success and we know all the different avatars that look like it, right? So this is gonna go and be a good point for us to see if you're a good fit for this opportunity, okay? And to see if we can go and move you up to the next step of getting your first couple of profitable units this year in 2025. And if it's not a good fit, no big deal, okay? At least you'll have clarity knowing where you stand and where we stand, okay? And so go ahead and use that link in the chat box, guys. I'm super fired up. Let's go. And so I'm incredibly excited to go and welcome all of you action takers into our amazing ecosystem and run it all the way up in 2025. So while you guys are signing up, shout yourself out in the chat box. I want to go and give you guys some love too. While you guys are booking, let me know that you're booked in the chat. I want to give you guys some love too. Let me know real quick. Amazing. Let's go. I want to go. I saw a couple of people book in. Let me give you guys a shout out here. Shout out to Patty. Let's go. Shout out to Jasmine. My brother Elijah. Let's go. Shout out to my Fawaz, shout out to you. Yolanda, let's go. I've got you locked in. Hassan, I've got you locked in. Joe Tran, what's up, Joe? Got you locked in, brother. Let's go. Let me know if you guys locked in. Shout out Terrence, Brian, Oliver. Let's go. Let me know if you guys booked in a call, guys. I want to give you guys a shout out. I saw a couple of other people. Shout out to my brother David Lee. I got you locked in. Shout out to Dan. I've got you locked in. Jamie Myers. I've got you locked in. Who else? Shout out to Nicole. I've got you locked in. Karen. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Shout out to Angel. I saw you earlier as well. Shout out to Alana. I love it. As you guys are rocking with that, shout it out. Give you guys some love. Shout out to my brother Kurt. And so while you guys are booking in calls, okay, I saw a whole bunch of other people. Let me give you guys some love real quick. Shout out to Alicia. I've got you locked in. Shout out to Alice. I've got you locked in. Kaylee Robbins, what's up, Kaylee? Shout out to Christopher Johnson, Kamlesh. Shout out to Julia, I've got you locked in. Mimi, Yvonne, let's go. I love it. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let's go. Shout out to Cherie. Shout out to Rosita, I saw you. Shout out to Bimal, I got you locked in. Who else did I see earlier? Shout out Teresa. Shout out Benjamin. Shout out Marissa. Jackie, I've got you locked in. Let's go. Guys, if you guys love our live training today, I cannot wait for you guys to, like, everything I drop for free, I cannot wait for you guys to see the actual mentorship itself. You guys are going to love it. Let's go. Awesome. So while you guys are doing that, let me go and answer a couple of frequently asked questions I get asked all the time. Shout out Salma. Shout out to Kat. I'll open up Q&A just a little bit for you guys. Okay. Very good. And so here's some frequently asked question that I get asked all the time. So what if I have bad credit? Can I still get access to funding? So for all of my one-on-one student, I'm going to go and personally tell you how to go and jump your credit score up to 800 plus. Okay. We do this all day long. You can see everyone, I want you guys to master credit. Again, this is a very important part of financial literacy as well. Okay. Very, very powerful. And I'm going to get you guys connected with my internal bank reps as well. On average, our students are getting in the realm of 200K, 0% interest. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Bring your questions during Q&A session as well, guys. I'm super pumped up. I saw a couple of other people. Let me give a quick shout out over to Ramona. I've got you locked in. Let's go. Shout out to Jackie Johnson. Crystal, I've got you locked in. Shout out to Marianne. Anthony Sanchez, let's go. Anita Fulton, let's go. Shout out Connor, Savannah, Denny. Let's go. Let's go. I love it. So while you guys are doing that, let me go and talk about a couple of other things too. I get this question asked all the time. How do we go and help you get approvals from landlords? So you guys get all of my talk tracks to go and get a yes, all of my negotiations, objection handling. And this is really powerful, because it's not uncommon to get a yes on your very first try, okay? Like Jason, first 4 to 4 pitches got a yes. First 2 pitches got a yes. First practice pitch got a yes, okay? I'll share with you guys a cool case study here. Let me go and give a quick shout out. I saw Julia. I've got you locked in. Shout out to Julia. Who else? I saw a couple of other people. Shout out to, okay. Sayuri, shout out to you. Vili, shout out to you. Shout out to my brother Terry. Shout out to Bam. Shaniqua, got you locked in. Natalia, Gregory, what's up, my man? Shout yourself out as you guys are booking in. I'm fired up. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Tyler. I've got you locked in. Who did I see earlier? Shout out to Hamila. Shout out to Ms. Daly. Nashaya. Shout out to Melanie. Shout out to Job. Yvonne, I saw you earlier. What's up, my brother Curtis? I saw you earlier. Sergi, what's up, Sergi? Miss Diane, shout out to you. Ramona, got you locked in. Let's go. I love it. Deb, let's go. Got you locked in. Jessica, Amit, got you guys locked in. Incredible. Incredible, incredible. I love it, guys. Shout out to you. I love seeing you action takers rocking. Let's go. Let's go. Who did I see earlier? OV, got you locked in. Dominic, I got you locked in. Let's go. Teresa, let's go. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Steve Rogers. All right, guys. Here's like a really cool case study I want to share with you too. So this is Ken. He's the 22-year-old I was telling you guys about. He jumped 40 points in 2 weeks from starting. Current day, he's well over 800. Very first deals. This is kind of his breakdown. I teach you guys how to negotiate like a beast, and I show you guys too, and I help you guys out with that. So here he got $300 off rent, 1 month free. So this one, he saved almost $15,000 on this deal. So on average, our students are saving anywhere between 15 to 30 grand per deal. Okay, amazing. Shout out to everyone who got locked in. Parker, Jaron, who else? Curtis, my brother. Shout out to April Phelps. What's up, April? Let's go. And so one more thing I'm going to share with you guys is that I have a guarantee for all of my one-on-one students.
Looking in.
Recording
Captain
in
America
progress.
out there. Who else? Shout out to Dillbag. Shout out to Pierre. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Danelle. Armon. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Rosalie. Shout out to Christina Nguyen. Shout out to Aaron. I got you guys locked in. Shout out to my brother Brian. Camille got you locked in. Eric. Enrique. Shout out to you. Who else? I saw Debbie. What's up, Debbie? Debbie Correa. Oh, yeah. I used you as an example earlier. Shout out to Soye, Tenzin, got you locked in. Sanjay, Melody, Tyler, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Lisa, Gregory, got you guys booked in. I love it. I love seeing action takers, guys. What's up, Mel? Got you locked in, Mel. Shout out to Nancy. Who else? Catherine. Joven, I've got you locked in. I love it. Let's go. Shout out Joy. I love it. I love it. Shout out to Dominic. Let's go. So some more frequently asked question I get asked all the time is, how long does it take to get your very first property from the moment of joining? Approximately 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months. All right. Super powerful. This one is the purchase of the program tax deductible? I saw someone ask, can I go and write this off? 100%. Absolutely. So yes, you guys can go and write it off. You guys are going to learn how to make a lot of money. Then you're going to have money problems. And then you guys are going to learn the tax game as well. So of course, number one, I'm not a tax professional. Secondly, I will share with you, I'm going to teach you guys how to pay zero tax, of course, right? And the other thing too is like for all my one-on-one students, I'm going to get you guys introduced to my personal team of CPAs. They are going to go and help you make your LLC for free 99, right? Really, really nice. And the other thing that I'll say on that too is the one thing that you do have to pay for is going to be for the state filing fees, right? Of course, they're not going to come out of pocket to pay your state filing fee. They're just doing the labor for you, and they help you out with consulting as well. Okay, amazing. So I hook you guys up with that. And then, of course, everyone who booked in a call, do me one big favor, please. Send me a DM on my IG. This is my Instagram right here, at Calvin Tran Official. Please send me a DM there. Send me a message saying that you guys are booked, you know, because it is a one-on-one relationship and long-term relationship as well. So I want to make sure I get a chance to meet you guys a little bit too. All right, excellent. And also, please send me a DM here on Instagram. Let me know you guys are booked. This is my Instagram. And also something really cool too. Thanks for that, Dominic. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, if you guys don't have an IG, it would be really meaningful for me because this is my #1 way of communicating with you until you are part of the mentorship. Then our main line of communication switches to Discord. I'll show you in a little bit. Okay. So one more thing too. Here I have hundreds and hundreds of student results. I want you guys to take a look through my story highlights on my Instagram, just so you guys can get more and more of an idea of my personality and what is replicable. So here I have hundreds of student results that have been under my mentorship, so you guys can see what exactly is possible for you. Okay, so spend some time, check that out too. Okay, now my team just texted me about a couple of people that went ahead and they didn't hit confirm when they booked in a call. I'm gonna read out your name. If you hear me read out your name, if you can rebook, please. Okay, because once again, you didn't hit confirm for the time. Okay, so I've got James Shadoff, Cherry Williams, Angela Hang, Tammy Claxton Warren. Okay, so if you guys heard me say your name, please rebook. I'm going to say those again. James Shadoff, Sherry Williams, Angela Hang, Tammy Claxton. If you guys heard me say your name, can you guys rebook, please? Because you didn't hit confirm at the very end. I just want to give you guys a heads up there. Okay, amazing. So my Instagram is right here on the screen. Okay, at Calvin Tran Official. Amazing, amazing. Amazing. And then I just went ahead and asked my team to open up one more day for you guys. I saw a couple of people asking for some more days. I just asked my team to go ahead and open up one more day. Okay, cool. And so once again, guys, I'm excited to welcome all of our new people into the community. You guys are going to get hooked up with a $2,000 off discount. And with that said, you know, let me go and give you guys a sneak peek of the community. So for everyone who booked in a call, I'm going to drop the link right here. We're going to open up Q&A session in a little bit. But for everyone who booked in a call, let me give you guys like a look into our community so you can see what it's all about. So first, I'm going to say, when you guys join the community, you're going to be entering a very, very different world. It is a world of high performers. Everyone started on level 1, okay? And it's a really awesome group because I'm really big on mindset. I teach a lot about growth mindset, abundance mindset. And as our community levels up, you know, we have a lot of Airbnb whales, a lot of Airbnb sharks. But the cool thing is that everyone is super cool, right? And everyone is super cool. They always give back. There's no gatekeeping, and it is super, super positive community, okay? There's not one single ounce of negativity. And so anyways, it's everyday people, and they're crushing it, okay? And I highly recommend when you guys join, network, make friends. That's the beauty of it all, okay? Awesome. Shout out to Arena, got you booked. AG, Marine, I got you guys locked in. Okay, here. Let me share my screen with you guys. I'll show you a little tour of what it's like to be a part of the community. Okay, so this is our community. Once again, we call each other high performance hosts, right? And I'll give you a little bit tour. So here is our announcements tab. So here I highly recommend for you guys, always pay attention to the announcement. This is where I post our meeting links. We have 3 coaching calls per week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. So we have a lot of support. I talk about whatever's current, right? Like for example, this was a mandatory meeting on slow season preparation because I'll show you here. Slow season is 5 to 6 months away for 80 to 90% of all of us. I call it a mandatory meeting for all of our members. And of course, all of it is recorded too. I talk about why others fail, the mindset heading into slow season. What is our strategy to stay 100% booked? Our pricing, scaling, et cetera, et cetera. So this was a really fire meeting. Yeah. And then of course, a lot of students had implemented everything that I talked about and all the strategies, and it started to pay off. I'll show you guys like what type of results they got from my slow season prep talk here. It was really, really powerful. I'll show you guys in a little bit. But anyways, keep an eye out here. This is where we have all of our announcements. I post like pictures from all of our meetups and events and stuff. This is a really cool event. I'll share with you. So basically, it was a 2-day event. This one was open invite. So this is open invite. I posted on my Instagram. We had 300 people from all over the world fly in to attend the event. This whole area was packed out. And then the next day was a private event for all of my students. And this was the biggest yacht that I could find in OC. It was a 128-foot triple decker, and it could fit 140 people. So I had 140 of my students, and the criteria to be on this event is to do 300K plus a year on Airbnb. And I always love to give these little awards here. The little small ones I call the Hall of Famers. This is a $50,000 per month. When you cross $50,000 per month, you enter the Hall of Famer. And these big, ginormous, obnoxious, but I love it, trophies, these are called the Legend Awards, and these are the $100,000 a month. Remember Bella, I told you, last year she did like, what, 370? This year she crossed $100,000 a month, right? So I'm really, really proud of these guys. And these were all of our recipients this year. And of course, whenever you guys cross this, I will never mail it to you. I want to hand it to you in person. It's way more meaningful that way. So these guys were from all over the place, right? They flew in. It was a lot of fun. And a lot of these guys actually were just a few thousand short from 100K a month. But anyways, that's a little cool thing. All of these people here you can network with. It's a really awesome community. Here's our community chat. So super, super active. This is like an encyclopedia of Airbnb. You can search anything here. It's really powerful information. We have pitching, negotiation, midterm rentals, furnishing, remote, all these different chats, OPM, tax. We have all these different channels here. Let me talk about this. So all of our office hours, we have meetings 3 times a week. So all of our recordings are here. This is a resource tab. So basically if you're like, oh man, Calvin said that there was like this agreement, where can I find that? Right there. Where's the calculator? It's in there. Where's the workflow to get 100% 5-star reviews? What's the automated messaging? Like, where's this workflow? Where's that workflow? How do I get rid of these bad reviews? Every workflow, every single resource is all here. Okay, so click that and it's all listed in there. Okay, beautiful. Over here, this is really awesome for you guys. So let me explain what deal review ticket is for you guys. So whenever you're brand new, you're running numbers, right? And whenever you understand my strategy, you understand more on how to compute numbers. Because remember, today we did half an hour on market analysis. In my mentorship, there's 18 hours to get pinpoint accurate, okay? And you learn a lot of strategy too. But whenever you pencil out numbers and you think they make sense, you could submit it here and then you get active feedback so you can get more and more sharp. But the thing though is if you get a yes, you send it directly to me and I help you guys work the deal fast, okay? Let me see, let me show you guys. So like basically as you can see here, post a link to the unit, right? What is the nightly rate you want to charge? What's your monthly projected revenue? What's your monthly projected profit? And links to comparables that prove all your numbers are true, okay? And then you get feedback from there, okay? See? Deal reviews are to prove your unit will perform, okay? And then I have like all these great workflows, okay? Amazing. Let me show you the fun stuff. Here, community wins. A lot of you guys are going to live right here, okay? Because this is where, small wins, big wins, share it with the group. We're all a big family. Just notice how the way everyone talks to each other. We root for each other. We celebrate with each other. I got a big $3,000 booking, pumped up, fired up. Got 50 reviews, 100% 5-star reviews. So you guys are going to learn once again how to get 100% 5-star reviews, right? 100 reviews, all 5 stars, following Calvin's blueprint, So really awesome there. I also teach you guys how to get rid of bad reviews too. Who else? What's super cool? Let me show you guys. Sarai, super proud of Sarai launching her unit. And notice how she doesn't just thank me, but she thanks like the community, Marissa, our photographers as well. Super, super awesome. Rebecca, shout out to Rebecca. She has 2 units. 2 units, just crossed over 30K a month. But her first unit was really good. It was doing like 20,000 a month, right? She barely just launched her second unit. So with these 2 units, she should be 35 to 40K per month with 2 units, all right? Let me show you guys, Claire, after 2 years of analysis paralysis, I finally took action and I couldn't have done it without this amazing community. Huge thanks to everyone who shares their knowledge and encouragement. And she attended our event in June. And literally right after that, I landed 2 deals in my hometown just a week later. How crazy is that, right? Again, not just thanking me, but thanking everyone in the group. Legendary, So let me show you guys just a couple of wins, $6,000, booking. Let me see what else we got cool for you guys to check out. I'll show you guys too. Oh yeah, this was after our slow season strategy talk. Look at this. She got 52 nights booked during their slowest season. 52 nights. We're talking about 50K payout. Just let that sink in. Okay? Crazy, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is really cool. Samantha just launched her second unit. She's crushing it. You know, I got a maybe. I got my first maybe. Hey, small wins, big wins, share it with the group. Okay? Amazing. Amazing, amazing. I'll show you guys some other really cool stuff. Tina, slow season, you know? $30,000. Again, implemented what she learned from our talk, right? So that's going to be really good. I'll show you guys some other cool stuff too. You know, mom and daughter combo. Sarah and Tamara, right? Got into the very first property there in Colorado. Fire units, by the way. Very cute. You know, Sonia launched her unit fully remote. Let me see. There's a lot of cool stuff. Let me show you guys some more. Sam, you know, disbelief, super grateful for our community, what one property can do in a month. So she launched her unit at the very end of June and then had her first full month and then cranked 12,000 in this month. So like, that's why for a lot of you, you're watching and some of you might think like, I think I saw it in the chat box earlier. It's like, Calvin, like 28 days isn't conservative. It's like, yeah, the strategy is just like this. Okay, so you guys can see here, you know, Judy, she's got 100 reviews, 5 stars, you know, super awesome. Recognized as top performing host in our market. Amazing, amazing. Anyways, you know, I think you guys get the point. You guys can scroll and read, you know, Jason went live on his 3rd unit. I'll show you a couple of, you know, I just wanted to show you a little bit, you know, let me see. Yeah, we barely just got to like the 20th or the 21st. You know, this is really cool. Tim and Sojourner, they just had a baby too and launched a very, very powerful unit as well. They're printing. Justin and Dana, they just crossed 50K a month. Really proud of them. They definitely got one of the awards too. Neil and Schmiedel and Neil, this is cool. They joined the community in June 8th, and then by July 20, they already launched their unit and already started making money on it. So again, average length of time to first deal is about 2 to 3 months. Right now, it's more like 2 months. 100% occupancy as well, right? There's some other really cool stories. Started practicing pitch today. Got a yes on my very first pitch. Again, this stuff like this is pretty common. Happens all the time. Okay. Anyways, you guys can scroll and read. When you join, you get access to 100% of all the messages since our Discord was born. Okay. Okay. Let me give a quick shout out to all the people that went ahead and booked in calls. Let me see. Shout out to Salma. I got you locked in. Who else? Shout out to my brother Rich. Shout out to Tammy. Thanks for rebooking, Tammy. Shout out to Nicole, Jasmine, Toshiba. Shout out to my brother Tim. Got you locked in. If you guys just booked in a call, shout it out in the chat. Shout out to Danelle. Who is this? Lee Marie. If I haven't shouted you guys out yet, shout yourself out in the chat box. Shout out to Kathy. Fernanda. Got you locked in. Mimi. AG. Lucretia, shout out to Alex, Kayla, who else? Shout out Nicole, I saw you, Terrence, Kayla, let's go, Oswaldo, couple of iPhones, shout out to Rich, amazing, shout out to Cherie, Victoria, let's go, I love it. Nancy, I got you locked in, Kimmy, who else? Christopher, Randy, Mary Jane, I've got you guys locked in. Mira, I've got you locked in. Victoria, what's up, Victoria? I love it. I love it. Kim, I've got you locked in. Janice, I've got you locked in. I saw you. Monica, what's up, Monica? Yvette, let's go. Michelle, let's go. Jean, let's go. Kim, what's up? I love it. I got you guys all locked in. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Shout out Hannah. I saw Hannah. Shout out Patrick. Shout out Dana Gomez. I saw you earlier. Go nuts in the chat. Shout out to Dana. Shout out to Henry. Shout out to Catherine. Amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Also, that's not true. Amazing. So I'm fired up. Let's go. I love it, I love it. Shout out to Monica. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Tim. I love it. Let's go. Shout out to Rebecca. Got you guys locked in. Amazing. So let me go and share like a cool case study with you guys, and then we'll open up Q&A here. Okay. So again, I promise you guys, thanks for being patient and saving your question for Q&A, and I promise you I'm going to answer all of your question. Okay. So let me share a really cool case study with you guys real quick. This is Kirsten and Jordan. They are in the Bay Area, NorCal. As you guys know, NorCal is a very expensive market. And they got into the very first property, $7,000 profit per month. Let's go. And then this is kind of the story. They went from a 730 to an 808. Their very first deal negotiated down from a $3,400 down to $3,200 rent. Got 1 month free. $3,200 rent. Had their first biggest month, $15,000. They profited over 10K in a single month. Legendary. And then I want you guys to take a quick listen to what they have to say. Check this out.
Hi, my name is Kirsten.
My name is Jordan.
And we have been a part of Calvin's team for about 9 months now. We have always wanted to do Airbnb. So when we heard about Calvin, we were very excited because you can tell that he is authentic. He's very passionate about what he does. He has invaluable knowledge, truly cares about his students.
We got our first property within the first month of starting his class. And it was just step-by-step guidance the whole way through. He helped build our credit. I think I started with a 650, 670 credit score. And within a couple months, my score was up to like a 750, 760.
I started with like a 734 and got to 815. And you know, he does weekly meetings or office hours with all of the students. He shows you how to do market research. Once you're interested in a certain property, you turn in a deal review ticket and he'll tell you if it's worth it or not. He's completely honest. He doesn't want anyone to fail. His goal is for us all to win just like him.
You want someone like Calvin by you because you might think you got the knowledge to do Airbnb, but trust me, if we didn't have Calvin and have the knowledge that he provides, we would have been lost. He saves you. He's been in every situation. He's dealt with every permit you possibly could deal with. He's just a lifesaver.
Yeah, he gives you, like we said, step-by-step instructions, and he thinks of every little detail that like you wouldn't even think to consider. There's a lot of things that arise once you get an Airbnb or you have guests and you're just like, oh my God. But there's none of that because Calvin has thought of everything and he just sets you up for the best success. I highly recommend joining Calvin's team if you want to win because he will make sure that you win.
I approve that.
Love it, love it, love it, guys. Wanted to give you a quick listen to Kirsten and Jordan. They got into the very first property in a month. They're crushing it now. But I don't know if you guys got a chance to kind of read this little message they sent me. Really, really sweet, you know, because they live in the Bay Area. As you know, mom lives in the Bay Area. Their mom, they kept increasing the rent on mom. And what ended up happening was they drove mom to a dangerous part of town because she couldn't afford it anymore. But Kirsten and Jordan were able to get into such an awesome financial position where they were able to move mom back home. Just imagine being able to do that for your loved ones. Really, really incredible. And like, I want to share with you guys a little update. End of year, she was able to get Jordan a really awesome business vehicle. So as you know, business owners, you guys get a lot of great tax benefits. You're going to learn all of that too. And another really cool thing is I want to share with you how jaded you're going to get. And I say this lightheartedly, because you guys are going to be joining a community of like-minded individuals. Everyone's really genuine. I really try to protect the good quality people that come into our community. And anyways, you're going to see everyday people printing money in our group, and it's going to become normalized to you. But I just want to say it's not normal. Like, this is not normal. You guys get jaded. Like, here, they're like, Calvin, it's slow season. They were complaining to me. We only made a little over 36K. And I was like, what the heck, guys? On 4 units, that's like 15K plus profit. People are legit bleeding money, you know? And that's with 4 units. Let me show you what they're used to seeing. Right now, they have 5 units. I'll show you their numbers right now. Let me see. Right here. This is with 5 units, $66,000. And again, May wasn't even completed. When May was completed, they finished May off with 75K plus in bookings with only 5 Airbnbs, you know? So I want to show you guys what truly is possible when you go and apply yourself, okay? Absolutely incredible. So that is Kirsten and Jordan. I want to give you guys a little look into how their story went. But once again, guys, if you went ahead and booked in a call, do me one big favor. Send me a DM to my IG at Calvin Tran Official. This is my Instagram right here. Also, homework for you guys before you get to the application call is to go and check out my story highlights, because I really want you guys to get a more firmer understanding of my personality and my style of teaching. And I want you guys to see, because here I have thousands of student results for you to check out. Okay, amazing. So with that said, guys, let's go ahead and get rocking with Q&A session. In the chat, change your filter. A lot of you have your filter on host and panelists. Switch it over to everyone, just so everyone can see your question, okay? So now you guys have my full undivided attention. I'm gonna say, hey, let's take advantage of it. I promised you guys earlier, I will answer all of your questions, okay? Very, very good. So go ahead and put your questions. I'm just gonna go from the top down. Okay, first one, Jeff asks, what is the best way to check if there's any anti-Airbnb laws? What if it is best for your first Airbnb listing in a different city where you live? I presume you have to travel there to meet people, travel expenses, time spent, et cetera, et cetera. Good question. So the core of your question is, what about Airbnb laws, right? Rules and regulations. So you're gonna learn all of that through me. And I'll share this with you guys. If all of my students, I sign off on all of my students' deals. That way I can protect you guys from going into bad deals, okay? That's number one. That also means I understand where highest and best value is for every market. I also understand rules and regulation for every market, and also loopholes for those rules and regulation. If that is your style, I will teach you, okay? So there's that. All of my one-on-one student, I tell you guys all the best markets that where you live, okay? And also, if you have a special interest, like you might say, oh, I really love Hawaii too. I'd love to get a unit there. Where are some good units, good markets for me to focus on? What's highest and best value? Is it the 2 bedrooms, the studios, the 1 bedroom, the 3 bedrooms? What is it? And I'll tell you exactly the answers for that too, okay? Amazing, so good. And then also to your second point, right? When it comes to local or remote, I would say about 60% of our students are remote, right? Their very first unit they might get across the country, for example, right? And it's the same level of difficulty, same stress, same learning curve, same amount of capital, because the amount we invest for a 2-bed, 3-bed, 4-bed, it's the same virtually no matter where you invest. But in different markets, there's higher return on investment, right? And I don't blame you guys. A lot of you guys have like an opinion right now, like you might be afraid of doing your first unit remote. I don't blame you. I understand the psychology of a beginner. But when you're part of the group and you see people do it all the time, to you it's like, oh, if they can do it, why can't I? Right? And your opinion begins to change, especially when you're in a group of, people that are actually doing it, right? And they all have learned from me. So anyways, that's what I recommend. Give your market a chance, number one. Also, number two, don't get married to one market, okay? Because when you think about it, just as a side note, just for context, it's like, how long does it typically take someone to save up for a 20% down payment for a rental property, right? To buy a piece of real estate. That's number one. Number two, most of the time, they can't even save enough to go and purchase in their own market where they live. They have to go remote, right? So no matter what, I teach you guys a lot about business, about the principles of not working always in your business. If you always have your hands in the business as a job, I teach you how to work on your business, okay? Anyways, really long answers you guys are gonna notice that I have, but because there's a lot of context I have to talk about for you to understand too, okay? Cool. Next one, okay? Let me see. Next one is Leah. Leah asks, I already have an LLC. Can I change elect real estate to property management? Yes, you can. If it's a brand new LLC and you want to change your NCAIS code, the answer is yes. And then also, I can always introduce you to my, if you become my student, Leah, right? If you get an invitation to join, then what happens is, you can ask my guys and they'll do it for you. Easy peasy. But that's assuming it's new. But I don't want everybody to ask me, I don't want this follow-up question of like, Calvin, I have a LLC in a totally different realm, a different business, and it's been 2 years old. Like the age of your LLC doesn't matter. My student's brand new LLC, you get business credit like that. It's not a big deal, okay? That's number one. And number two, I don't understand the history of the LLC that you have. If you've done good business, if you had X, Y, and Z, like any issues, what type of credit you've opened, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know those details. So in short, the short answer is I'd rather you start fresh, clean slate from me. Okay, that's better. Okay, Kathy, what about cleaning? The question is too broad, okay? Can you be specific with your question, please? Okay, yeah, if you can reshoot it into the chat, that'd be great. Who helps with interior design? So there's 3 interior designers within our community. They all do 100K plus a month. They all learn from me. Super powerful. Very, very good. So they understand like exactly what strategies I have, how to build in value, et cetera, et cetera. All designers are my one-on-one students too. Yvonne, I offer a PML if I ask one to fund me, interest rates they charge, or monthly profit. What do I offer? Ask one to fund me. You don't really interest rate they charge. So 100% of all my US-based students grow their business with no money out of pocket, period. Oh, let me talk to anyone that's international watching right now that's interested in mentorship. If you're international, I have to tell you straight up that the whole OPM thing, 0% interest funding, I'm sorry, if you're international, you can't get access to that, okay? My US-based students, they can get access to it immediately. But if there are certain situations where you can, I would suggest you still have the application call so we can ask you questions so we can understand if we can help you or not. Okay, cool. Kathy, do we find cleaners? Yeah, I teach you how to find the best cleaners. I teach you how to find the best cleaners, how to interview them, how to have them happy and motivated to work for you, and how to find good cleaners, right? Finding good workers in general is very hard. Everybody knows that, right? You guys know you have jobs, W-2, and you have like, someone you're like, dude, they're so lazy or whatever the case may be, right? Good workers and bad workers. I'll give you an idea. So, for example, right, my favorite way to source cleaners, the best cleaner is from referrals. Referrals are the best, okay? Because it's attached to someone who's already done a really good job. What I don't like is like Turno, I don't like TaskRabbit, I don't like Yelp. Because for you guys as beginners, you don't really fully understand like how much should I be paying for X, Y, and Z? What does a deep clean really mean, right? So referrals are the best. And when it comes to, here, let me take this off so you guys can see me. So referrals are the best, okay? And the best way to find them is to like blast your social medias, ask for house cleaners, just so you have a lot of examples, and we hire from mindset, right? Skill set we can teach anybody. So that's really important. And then like, for example though, like if you're, well, okay, well that's local, but what if I go to a remote market, Calvin, and I'm not familiar with anybody there? So easy. You go onto Zillow, right? And you switch from for rent over to for sale. And on the for sale, they have a lot of agent. Call the agent. If you need photographer, ask for a photographer, look at their portfolio, handyman, right? And then also cleaners, get a lot of them, right? And then you need to interview them and ask them, right? So here's another thing. So that's how to source the best, okay? That's one. And then there's a whole interview, stuff like that, right? But then also another component is how do you keep someone happy and motivated to work for you, right? And a part of it comes from the interviewing, right? So for example, this is what I'll teach you guys to say. So whenever you talk to the cleaners, you can tell the cleaners, hey, you know what? I really, really love all of my cleaning teams. I currently have 6 cleaning teams. And what I normally do is if you do really good work for me, I will continue to give you more and more units. I grow every single month. I get another unit. For you guys, you can say, every 3 months, every 4 months, whatever, right? And then, and all my cleaners, they always say, I just keep giving them more work until they say, Calvin, no more. I can't handle any more work, right? So that is a great way where you paint the picture, paint the vision for them so they know that if I do a really good job for you, you're going to go and give them more work, right? So they're more motivated and happy to work for you. So these are very different concepts. And then, of course, you're going to learn all of my systems, my automations, things like that, just so you can automate all the processes. Okay, cool. Ms. Daly, shout out to you. I saw you got booked. I saw a couple of other people got booked. Let me shout you guys out. Valerie Hill, shout out to you. Canessa, I like your name. Shout out to Erica. Charlotte, Carletta got you locked in. Sharia got you locked in. Janice Williams, what's up? Shout out to you guys that all just booked in a call too. Okay, awesome. And let's see, next question. I've got Victoria Thompson. What is the initial startup costs if you cannot get business funding? So 100% of all my students get business funding. It's like 100% game. Like I understand exactly how it works. I connect you with my internal people. But to answer your question, how much about each unit, right, will cost? On average, for units of my caliber that I recommend, high profit, I say on average 25 to 35 grand, all in, meaning your first month deposits, your furnishing, everything A through Z, 25 to 35K. Amazing. Whitney, has a landlord ever seen your listings on Airbnb and raise your rent? No, that's called greedy. Yeah, most landlords, again, we solve a big problem for our landlords. Our landlords know exactly what we're doing, and no. That's why we sign multi-year lease, 3 to 5 year lease. And then within my negotiations, there's a couple of like hard absolute no's. For example, landlords like try to go and take a cut, or landlords want to increase your rent because you're doing business. Like in my negotiation office hours, I have a hard stop. No means no. And a lot of times, because landlords, like, they will test you. They won't ask for higher rent right away. They will test you, right? And the reason they test you is because they don't know if they can ask you for higher rent. So they're going to test you. So that's why when you learn from me, any time you get a sense of that, we nip it in the butt right away so we can continue the conversation. 100% of all my students, number one, have never lost money. And number two, don't pay over market rent, period. Yeah. Okay, cool. Amazing, good questions. Dennis, will this recording be sent to us afterwards? I got you guys. I'll send all of you a recording tomorrow, like lunchtime, because I gotta let all of this process and load, and it'll email to you guys tomorrow. Okay. Excellent. Cost of the program. Good question. So this application call, of course, you guys are going to be meeting with my team. They're going to ask you a series of questions to see if you are a good fit. If you are a good fit, okay, they're going to extend an invitation to you to join the one-on-one mentorship. Now, here's the thing. Please don't go and, say answers that you think we want to hear, because the last thing I want is for you and I to sit down and I realize I can't help you. Okay, that's why I have that, to protect my time. Okay, so, and if you are a good fit, you're going to get extended an invitation to join, and then they're going to tell you what the fee is. And at that point, we have a solution for all of you guys. Okay, I have people from all different backgrounds that I've helped, stay-at-home parents, students making $0, and they're crushing it. Okay, so there's that. If you really want it for yourself, I've got you guys. Okay, can you share your Excel doc calculator? That's for my one-on-one students. Soye, how can I cover my first before getting my business funding? No, my first few months before my business funding. No, you can get your business funding like this. No matter what, Soye, right? If Soye, you join today and tomorrow you show me a deal. Calvin, I got a yes on a deal. Here are all the numbers. I will show you how to make money on that. I will show you how to make money on it. Okay? Business funding didn't go through. That doesn't happen. 100%. It's like a guarantee. It's a lock. Okay? Does that mean I'm stuck with the loan? No. So all of my students get business funding, period. It's no what if I don't? Like, that's not true. That's never a case. My students always get it. Okay. Cool. Nancy, landlord pitch, need more clarity. I don't know if that's can you be more specific with your question? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you use your own money to buy Airbnb? Yeah, you sure can, Patrick. That's a cool thing, right? So I like to outline two different types of people. Okay. So one person knows okay, my problem right here is I want to make more money. A great way to make more money is to start a business, right? And there's another person, a person who is already making so much money. They make too much money, right? So there's two people. So if you want to make more money, you start a business. Airbnb arbitrage is very powerful. And then over here, you can become this person where you make too much money. And now you have a tax problem. And so the powerful thing is once you get to this side, to your point, you can get really big, huge tax benefits when it comes to the purchasing side. Or Patrick, if you want to go and purchase right away, you can go and do that. I have many students who just jumped into buying. Yeah. Okay. Angela. Oh, Angela, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, Angela. Yeah, Angela Fears. Just making a note to myself so I remember you, okay, Angela? Excellent. Let me continue on. Dill, does Airbnb take care of bookings? If yes, how much? Airbnb takes 3%. 3%, okay? Should you start collecting furnishing? No, you shouldn't, okay? New Jersey, besides Hoboken. Yeah, New Jersey has a lot of fire markets there. I have Oakland Hills property, but need some basic rehab. Do you help with those situations? Of course, 100%, 100%, of course. What is the cost of the program? We talked about that. Christine, how can we guarantee that reviews are from accurate bookings and not from Ponzi? Like fake reviews, right? It is, because let me show you again. Since you asked, right? I'll show you how you can't fake it. Here. So for example, right? If I go like this, right? 5 years on Airbnb, right? Atlanta, LA. Because whenever you make accounts, Airbnb has a verification system, right? Because you have to think about it. If I'm hosting on Airbnb and people want to book me, Airbnb has a very robust system to make sure that the people that are booking are legit, right? Because they have to protect us too. And so, that's number one. And then number two is you can't fake 8 years on Airbnb account. This is a metric that Airbnb puts on the account. You can't fake these. 1 year, right? Ohio, all these different people, 2 years, 9 years. You can't fake this, right? So again, that to your point, because you were asking, okay? Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let me continue on. Where were we? Where were we? Where were we? I lost my place in all the questions. Just a second, guys. Let's see. Okay. Okay, cool. Found it. I was looking at international places like Mexico. So yeah, it depends where in Mexico, but yeah, I have a lot of students from the U.S. expand out of the country. Like I have Mari Leong. She expanded. She lives in NorCal. She has a couple of units in Sapporo, Japan. Super good. $1,500 rent. Cranks 10K plus all day long. Really, really good. I have students. I have Avino. He lives in Miami. He owns a couple of units in Jersey and also expanded into Germany. That was his dream. Who did it? And I have a lot of students. Oh yeah, and also I have a couple husband and wife boyfriend and girlfriend combo from LA that have many units in Costa Rica. Costa Rica, by the way, each of their unit charged 2K plus a night. It's crazy, you know. They have a lot of units over there. And then I have students from Philly and Aruba, and I also have international students, like operating internationally as well. Yeah. Cool. I want to buy in Florida. I live in Boston. In my opinion, Boston's a better market. Dubai, yep. Remote. That will be cold call to landlord. Yes, ma'am. Good question, Catherine. Yeah, so that's why I always said, right? I said practice locally first. Practice locally. Get good at going in person, and that transfers very well to pitching over the phone and doing it remote. Yeah, highly recommend. Everything I say today is for a reason. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Lots of questions. Let me scroll back. I lost my spot, but I posted that link in the chat box for you guys to be able to book in a call. Okay. Also property in Las Vegas, but strict Airbnb rules. Do you teach us Las Vegas market too? Yes, I have a lot of students in Vegas. How does Airbnb listing start to get bookings before you have reviews? Strategy. Strategy. That's not a problem. Yeah, it's not a roadblock. It's not a problem or anything. Yeah, because in case in your mind you think, oh, I need reviews in order to get booked. That's not true. Yeah. At least with my strategy. Yeah, maybe if you did it on your own, that's probably true. But with my strategy, that's not a problem. Okay. Do I need 2 LLC if I live in Boston? No. You can have 1 LLC and operate from anywhere. Okay, we talked about that. I'm in the Bay Area. Do you need to have foreign LLC to have a unit in another state? No. Yeah. Naples, Florida, a good place to do arbitrage. So I'm not going to answer those questions. Is my market good? Because I don't want all the question in the Q&A to be, is my market good? I'll tell you in the mentorship. Okay, I'll tell you exactly where to focus. Great. Katie, do you get a new LLC for each property? No. You only need 1 LLC. But if you own the units, I do recommend putting each unit in its own LLC. Okay. And can get each one 0% interest card 12 months. Oh, so I'll give you an idea of my strategy. My strategy is really crazy. So we have a lot of different strategy for OPM. I teach you everything about OPM. But one of our most favorite ones is a brand new strategy we have as of 2025. So like, let me explain. So you guys know how, let's call credit card product A, right? Whenever you max out your card and you need more funding, you open up credit card product B. Or your credit card product A, your 0% interest is over, you pay it off, and that's it. And then you need to move on to credit card product B to get a new 0% interest card, right, for 12 months. So that's traditionally, that is how credit cards work and how you would go and leverage and borrow money, right? But a brand new strategy as of 2025, you know that credit card product A, now we can get unlimited over and over and over, 0% interest over and over and over, right? Yeah, so you can imagine like that 200K I said is actually, when you meet me in person, it's actually unlimited. So, yeah. All right, let me continue on. Whitney, how do you manage? And again, like that, when I say something like that, you guys are listening like, what the heck? I didn't even know that was possible. 100%. Yeah. Even you walk into a Chase Bank and you ask them that, they're going to tell you it's not possible, right? Because again, we're very non-traditional. And, it's not just me that I've done it. It's like my hundreds of students that have replicated the strategy. Okay. Excellent. Whitney, how do you manage the schedules and payments of the guests? Schedules and payment of the guests. Everything is automatic through Airbnb. Airbnb actually is really robust. Their system is super easy to use, actually, and it's very, very user-friendly. I have students I have mentees in their 60s, and they understand how to do it. And, obviously not super tech-savvy, but they can do it. Yeah, they're crushing. Okay. You don't need private money lenders, Yvonne. You don't need it. All my students have access to funding. What's your take on international students on a student visa, starting an LLC and getting into business? So, okay, so let me talk to everyone on visas, okay? So if you're watching and you have a visa, so first of all, I know the answer, but I want to teach you guys. You guys will understand my personality. So first, if you're on a visa, you must talk to your immigration lawyer, okay? So you understand, can you open up a business and do business on your visa? Most of the time, the answer is no. Okay, most of the time, the answer is no. However, there are loopholes, okay? And the loophole is you need to have because you can't actively run a business and generate income like that on a visa, technically speaking, right? But there are loopholes to it, of which you have you can have someone, because you have to be like a silent investor, and then basically you can form the LLC with your name in it, but you can't technically be doing anything. So you need to have a friend, right? Somebody who's willing to be the face of the company for you, right? So that's the number one thing. So anyone on a visa, that's your answer. But I still want you, because again, this is your life, right? This is your responsibility to understand. Talk to your immigration lawyer. Okay, good. Job Merkel, shout out to you. Let's see. Is it possible to start an Airbnb at my current place that I've been renting? So first of all, you have to get permission, and second of all, it has to be worth it, like a good unit. Considering my relationship with my landlord is really good, awesome, and we're about to move anyway. Well, first of all, it's, you want to make sure that the unit will actually perform, right? So that's really, really important. Remember, you can't just take any unit, throw it up on Airbnb, it's going to perform. That's a big mistake. That's not true. Okay, good. Min Kang, so the 0% interest funding is from the credit cards. Exactly correct. Okay, amazing. Do we need to go to the property to check? Well, if you can, great. So I show how to go and get into, I show you how to get into those units remotely without ever getting there. And then also, if you want to go there, you can too. So I show both ways. Alrighty. Oh crap, I lost my place. Here we are. Will you send out the recording? Of course. How can we watch the videos back to retake notes? You guys will probably, I'll send it to you guys' email by tomorrow afternoon. Do we have to go check the property? I would recommend it, honestly, when you first start, but eventually over time, you don't need to. You have really good systems, right? How do you deal with HOAs? It just depends, right? So Mary Jane asked a question, how do you deal with HOAs? So depends where you live, right? Like for example, if you're talking about California HOA, no means no, period. Don't even waste your time. That's easy, right? But Texas, it's like 50-50. Some allow, some don't, right? So it's easy. Like HOAs, just figure out in the HOA bylaws, the CCNRs or HOA docs, it's all the same thing, right? Can I do business? Can I sublease short-term rentals? Okay, very simple. If I have a garage space enough to turn into an Airbnb, can that work? Again, it has to make sense if there's demand, right? If there is demand in your market, and then you can go and, build out a JADU and then rock and roll with that, okay? Okay, I wouldn't need a private money lender. You do not need a private money lender, yeah. How long will it take us to pay back the loan? Okay, yeah, so remember, I'll show you right here, right? How long does it take to pay back, right? So that's why I care about this metric right here too, number of months until break even. And a part of my high profit definition is it needs to break even in 6 months or less. That's a slam dunk banger, okay? Any business, anything that can break even in 6 months or less is a slam dunk, slam dunk, slam dunk. Excellent. Let me continue on. Oh crap, I lost my space. Where are we? Damn, you guys asked a lot of questions, huh? You guys are gonna make me regret saying, I promise you I'll answer all your questions. I'm kidding, I don't mind. I'll probably do another 20 minutes worth. Let me catch up to where I was. Okay, here we are. Where do you order furniture from? So the designers can help you out with all that stuff. So there's a couple of main things. You guys are gonna learn where to get discounts. For example, right? When we're talking about Wayfair, everybody knows Wayfair, right? So Wayfair, what's really cool is when you have an LLC, you can create a professional account. When you have a professional account, they will assign an account manager for you, right? So let's say our designer, they go and build you out a $10,000 cart, right? And then automatically, when you have a professional account, it takes around 20 to 30% off. So let's say your 10,000 goes down to 8,000, right? Call up your account manager and ask them for more discount. They'll hook it up. Ask them for more. They'll hook it up. So you can save around 30, 40% off of your furniture. You'll learn all that stuff from me, okay? Amazing. Min, are the landlords allowed to raise rent while you have the lease? No, it's not. That's illegal. Good question. Bamal, many cities or communities have restrictions on Airbnb. How should I handle that? We talked about that already. How does it work for non-native English speakers? Oh, I have a lot of students that are like that. Super thick accents. I have a Canadian. She's a famous YouTuber. She entered the U.S. market, funded all of her deals out of her own pocket. She's now broke $100,000 a month, and she has the thickest French accent of all time. I have a lot of individuals with very thick Vietnamese accents doing 100K. It's funny because like a lot of our people in our community who are doing 100K plus a month have very thick accents, actually, believe it or not. Yeah. Mary Rose, amazing content today. Thank you very much. How much is a program to work with you? We talked about that already. So basically, once again, guys, if you are a good fit, my team will extend an invitation to you and tell you what the fee is. Okay, amazing. Boom, boom, boom. What is the minimum credit needed for funding? Your credit does not matter because when you're in my mentorship, I take your credit from whatever it is to incredible. Even if you have a 750 credit score, 780 credit score, please don't think you're too good for my strategies. I can always take good to incredible. Okay, yeah. Dill, after getting the units, how long does it take to list on Airbnb? So I teach how to get your unit up and running in 14 days. Okay, 14 days. But then I think my student average 10 days or less. I've seen people finish their like from A through Z in 5 days. Cool. If you're doing a deal remotely, how do you see the unit and do the deal? You'll learn that from me in the class. How would you recommend saving 3 to 6 months rent from the earnings for slow seasons? No, I teach you a slow season strategy where you won't lose. Amazing. Amazing. In your mentorship program, do you mentor about my existing 2-bedroom? Planning to build an ADU 3 bedrooms? Yes, 100%. You have to talk to me about that. You want to hear my opinion about those things. I highly recommend. If you already have units, of course, I'm going to audit your existing units. And also, if you're planning to build ADUs for the purpose of Airbnb, definitely run that by me, you know, just so you can get my 2 cents, 100%. Amazing. Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. I don't know what that is, April. So, yeah, I don't know. Awesome. Is Hoboken a fire market? Yeah, duh. We just looked at it. Funny. Heather, isn't it better to go into the area where there's not too many existing Airbnbs? No, that's not true. That's not really anything. Because you want proof, right? You want proof, demand that a market is good and that your unit will perform, right? Like we just looked, we found a lot of proof. Versus if we found no proof, then that's guessing, right? The more proof that you have means the more firm that your unit will never lose money, right? The more proof that you have, right? Do you use separate company to manage your bookings? No. I teach you guys how to create systems and automation in your business. So you run a lean team and you keep your profit, right? You hire a company, they take 20-25% of top line revenue, right? Meaning if you're making 10K a month, they take $200 to $2,500 a month from you. Not worth it. Yeah. Carol, my boyfriend and I want to get started in this business and start your mentorship. Do we both have to apply? Both of you can just be on the call. That's fine. Yeah. I have a lot of husband and wife combos. And it's only 1 fee, not 2 fees. Good question. So when you start out of the country, how do you get the place ready? You'll learn that in the class. Okay. I'm not going to talk about markets. Okay. Restriction, risk management. You'll learn all that stuff from me. Don't see, that is the biggest mistake that beginners make. They worry about rules and regulation first. Okay, when you learn from me, I tell you, ignore that. Because as a beginner, I want you to understand my theory. I want you to understand how to compute numbers and look for opportunity without a bias, right? To see the market for what it is. Don't worry about rules and regulation now. Because what's going to happen is this. You're going to create mental barriers and mental blocks, right? At the very first thing that you do, right? Because everyone's perception of hard is different. When someone sees regulation, they associate that with hard. But regulation is so easy. I teach you guys, nothing in this life is hard. If there's something called a regulation, we figure out what they are, what do we need to do, and we do it. That's it. And I understand all the rules and regulation for every market. So don't worry too much about that kind of stuff. Yeah. Follow my lead. Okay, excellent. And don't worry about it first. Okay, cool. Let's see. if I live in California and do Airbnb Nevada, do I need to open? No, it doesn't matter. You can have your LLC operate from anywhere. What about Zoom in Spanish? What about Zoom in Spanish? Some apartment buildings in Houston allow Airbnb take 25%. Do you run that into a lot? No, don't touch those kind of units either. Period. And you'll learn from me. Like there's like little nitty gritty details you're gonna learn from me, like just to save you time. Don't like because you brought that up now. Don't ever bother with those type of units. Can I make multi-payment for mentorship? Sure. Nashville, Tennessee. Is that a great? Okay, I'm not gonna talk about markets being great or not. Let's see. I have a few share in Airbnb stock and I'm continuing to lose money. I don't understand why. I don't know anything about stocks. How long does LLC? Yeah, I just stick to what I'm good at, real estate and business. How long does LLC take to get set up? Should we do that? Oh yeah, wait till you join and then you'll learn all that the LLC stuff. Miss Ines, I have 3-bedroom townhome, HOA, 1 bedroom, 2 empty, wanting to rent out, little scary. Corporate or nurses? Yes, I teach that too. Yeah. If you want to do 30-day plus corporate or nurses, I do teach that too. How does it work if client cancels their 1-month booking? How does it work if client cancels their 1-month booking? Oh, we have cancellation policy. We have very strict cancellation policy. So it just depends when they cancel. You might get half paid out, or you keep the entire booking, right? Just depends. Are you then responsible for paying landlord for that month? You are always responsible for paying the landlord, period, regardless. Yep, good question. I still have a mortgage. Can I still do this? 100%. Student loans, mortgage, whatever. Yeah. Okay, next question. How do you purchase a 5-year lease, even with business card? Wouldn't that be risky? Loan of $200K, isn't it really risky? I fact check every single deal that my students sign. Not one student has ever lost money. Yeah. Do you also teach other methods like MTR corporate? Yes. Awesome. Let me see what else. How do you furnish the place without being there? You'll learn from me. I have systems for everything. Did you say you can get 0% interest over and over on business credit cards? Yes, the same exact credit card over and over. Correct, I did say that. Dana, I know Airbnb is mostly short. Can you do midterm rental? Yes, you can. I'll teach that to you. Excellent, very good. In San Jose, there is this unhosted rental limits. If you're not, don't worry about any of that stuff. It's very easy to handle. I have a lot of students in NorCal printing money. Don't worry about that now. Okay, good. Is there a way to watch a video back? Yes. Do you have any ideas like ADU, huge backyard, how to go make money with good backyard, renting out space, or building ADU? Yes, you'll learn that from me. Very good. What if we can't afford the fees? Is there any option we'll still be in the program? Don't worry about that. If have the application call, no matter what, I have options for you, period. Okay, awesome. Why do you do one-on-one while you are financially free already? I love what I do. And I'm freaking super good at it. You guys can see, look at my Instagram. And today, I love what I do. It's very fulfilling. And, why do I do what I do? It stems a lot back from my medical background too, actually. Just I'll keep the story short. I still am in contact with all of my mentors, even my medical mentors. And actually, I started off with her. She's been mentoring me for over 10 years now. And one of the things she said, she taught me a lot about life, a lot about medicine, and a lot of the things that I do now come from my roots in medicine. It transfers over very, very well, And one of the things that she said too was just like, when you make it, always give back, right? And what's really cool, the way that I articulate that, I was like, okay, when I became a PA, I'll give back. And I did that in many different ways. Students, I had a hard time saying no when students asked to shadow me and that kind of stuff. And this is a little flex. Some of you might understand, some of you don't. But all of my students got into their school's first application cycle. It's very normal to have to apply 2 to 5 times before you finally get in, right? That's a normal thing. But anyways, that transferred well into teaching others. Now I can help others in a very different way. And also that's another thing that I really teach all of my students too. When you guys make it, always give back, right? So then they always kind of like help others out because they love and respect everyone that helped them come up too, right? So that kind of stuff. Amazing. Amazing. Well, you disclose your fees now for the mentorship now because there's no point in that. Because if you're not a good fit, then you won't get an invitation and you won't know the fee regardless. Yeah. Marianne, do you manage all your Airbnb properties? I wouldn't compare us, okay? Like for me, I do 0 in my Airbnb business. It's 100% automated. But like for you guys, what you will learn is about 80 to 90% automation right away with your very first unit. So whether you have 2 unit, 5 unit, 10 unit, it'll take you on average less than 5 hours per week to manage. Okay, good. Do we get a copy of this recording? Yes, I've got you. Thank you for the kind words. Let's see what else. Who manages your IG? I got a message from you while you're live. Either it's automated message or my wife. Let's see. She helps me out with that. I live in Pennsylvania. Do you mentor for that market? Yes, of course. Is one-on-one virtual or in-person virtual? And I also have in-person event, but it's not to teach. It's just to link up with you guys. I host meetup all over the country. My next one is going to be in East Coast, New York, right? I love my New York students and my East Coast. Everyone just come, like everyone from East Coast, they go and they come to that event. It's so much fun. It's open invite. When you guys see me post it on Instagram, come out. It's a lot of fun. The other thing too is I'm going to probably host another event here in SoCal around end of the year, probably something charitable. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe like a toy drive, something like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll send you guys an invite for that too. You're all welcome. Open invite. Okay. Casey, what if you can't deal with landlord directly and have to go through an agent? Oh, good question. So agents and property management, like middleman, is the same. Don't shy away from those because every person, landlord and these other individual, they are people. They have networks. Landlords have access to all their friends, their investor friends. Same thing with agents. They work with a lot of investors. Property management, they have a huge portfolio. And the beautiful thing about that is when you guys do really good business, when you guys fulfill your promises, when you keep your promises, right? You will always get referrals, right? So again, you guys learn how to do good business, honest business, all that stuff. You always get referral. So let's talk about the interaction a little bit more because I think that might be a follow-up question. Follow-up question is, is like, how do you approach and talk to these individuals? It's the same. It's the same. You have to build rapport, right? Because again, we have to like each other to do business together. That's always a powerful principle, number one. Number two is, what was number two? Number two is, first we have to build rapport. Oh yeah, so if we're building rapport, right? If they like us, they will actually listen to us. If they like us and they listen to us, then they can go in turn and advocate for us to the landlord. You understand? So always same interactions, okay? Sometimes another thing too, I get the question asked, like a follow-up question to that is it better for me just to bypass the middleman and try to get to the landlord? The answer is no. Keep in mind, right? Like, why would a landlord hire these people? It's because the landlord doesn't want to do it. So if the landlord doesn't want to do it and then you go and do that, it's going to piss them off and that's not very good business. Okay, so I want to explain the principles and that kind of thing. Okay, cool. Do you have any Airbnbs in Miami? No, I don't. I want to say thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I was a PA. Yes, yes, yes. Are there any other fees after the initial 2K? No, there's just a renewal fee every single year. But then also there's a renewal fee for mentorship every single year. But I have a fun challenge. If you get 3 units in your very first year, it's lifetime mentorship for free. What a good deal, right? I want you guys to win. And a lot of my students have that deal. Have you helped people who are afraid to get started and they turned out to be successful? Yeah, a lot of people. What the heck? A lot. Have you ever dealt with squatters? No. And how do you deal with that? So I've never dealt with squatters. However, I have a very robust system to even prevent squatters as well. Let me explain a couple of things. So a part of our high profit strategy, highest and best value, like targeting units that charge a lot it actually solves a lot of second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth order things, right? For example, one of them is like the slow seasons. Notice how I said the regular schmegler, don't go for these, go for the best of the best. That's a part of how we beat slow season, because the regular schmegler, you think they're going to survive during slow season? They probably will, but not at the same caliber as the best of the best units, right? So that's one thing it's protecting you from. Another thing it's protecting you from is bad people, you know, people with the intention of doing squatting or whatever the case may be, right? And so with that said, you have to also think about one more thing, like third, fourth, fifth order thing that you're being protected by. Because think about it. Who would you rather host? $80 per night guests or $300 plus per night? $400, $500, $1,000 per night? Of course, everyone says $300 plus. Everyone does. Why? Well, of course, you can make more money, no doubt. But here's one thing you didn't think about, okay? $80 per night guests come with $80 per night problems. They're going to complain. They're going to break your house rules, et cetera, et cetera. $300 plus per night is a very higher end clientele. Less problem, less headache, way more pleasure to work with, and you make more money, right? So there's that. So first of all, the next thing is like regarding squatters in general, okay? So squatters in general, it depends on like the, how do you say it? It depends on the state, okay? So certain states have laws that favor the tenant and others have laws favored towards the landlord, right? So in California, there's squatter laws, right? Because it favored towards the tenant. So even though, first of all, you have to understand like how do they get, how can they become a squatter? It's only if they stay 30 days plus. If their stay is like 7 nights and they don't want to leave, it's easy. Call the cops, get them kicked out. That's called trespassing, right? Easy peasy. Now, but the thing though is like the other strategies that I teach is also midterm, okay? Midterm. And again, we target the best of the best. We want to make the most money possible, right? And a part of it, even though it's corporate, even though it might be a home insurance company, maybe a family, they had a flood in their house and then it's being repaired now and the insurance is paying them, paying you to house them in your home. And it's very obvious. They're going to reach out on an Airbnb and you can see the reviews as a guest, right? And it says like, oh yeah, their company was so good. And you can see they have a lot of reviews from all over the place, all over the country, right? So it's legit, right? And I teach you how to screen them and all that stuff. Now, even though they're paying me a pretty penny, and even though it's obvious that it's a legit company, I still, force them, all of those people that are going to stay in the unit, I have them sign my agreement. So let's talk about that, okay? Even though it's someone high quality like insurance company paying me, right? It doesn't mean I go unprotected. Even though they pay me a very high price, that doesn't mean I go unprotected, okay? So I sent an agreement. An agreement is called licensee agreement, okay? Licensee agreement. Licensee agreement is very powerful because in there it has very specific language that avoids automatically qualifying that person as a tenant. For example, if you say refundable deposit, that is verbiage that says that is a tenant, right? You cannot use that verbiage. And even in there, it says, you are not a tenant, and they initial next to it. Okay, and then the next thing, and then in there it also has verbiage saying, if you break my house rules, if you don't pay, et cetera, you will be removed based upon trespassing. They initial that. Everything is in writing. Everything is clear. IDs, everything is there. So we protect ourselves, right? So again, even though I have ways to protect you guys on the front line, and even though the principle and everything makes sense, it doesn't mean I let you go unprotected on the back end, right? There's a flow for everything. Good. My credit is low. It doesn't matter. I take you guys up. Okay? Amazing. Amazing. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you. Do you ever come to Texas? All the time. When will the event be in New York? I don't know for sure yet because I'm trying to buy a couple of pieces of real estate out there, right? I'm trying to buy some Airbnbs out there. So when I have a deal in the works and I need to go look at it, then I'll fly out, I'll make the announcement, and then I'll host a really big meetup. It's super fun. It's super fun. Okay. Mauricio, can one get property from real estate investors? Yeah, for sure, of course. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. One-on-one is virtual. Yep. Have you changed your Airbnb portfolio? How to determine if the time to stop the lease and change to a new one? Oh, have I done that? Yes, 100%. I have done that a million times. That's when I was starting, and I wasn't good. I wasn't. I didn't know what I know now. Right? I made a lot of mistakes starting out. I've lost a lot of money, hundreds of thousands. Okay, cool. Insurance displaced you teach us, not MTR, both, all of the above. Yeah. Properties directly from real estate investors instead of pulling them out from Airbnb once you have pinpointed a good. No, so like no matter what, you're going on Zillow and getting units there because you know what's good. Yeah, you're getting units from Zillow from investors, right? Yeah, you're not. Yeah. What is a licensee agreement? We just talked about exactly what a licensee agreement is. It's just like, it's kind of like a lease agreement, but it's not a lease agreement. A lease agreement says that they are a tenant. Licensee agreement is a licensee. Yeah. Cool. My IG handle is at Calvin Tran official. Would you come to Tennessee? I haven't been out there yet, but I'm not against it. Have you done sub 2 buying property to do Airbnb? No. How much time average you spend a month managing one property? So whether you have 2 unit, 5 unit, 10 units, less than 5 hours per week. Will you or your students be interested in hosting my properties? If they're good, yeah. Probably give it to my students. Yeah, because I have a, because then, you know, it's different because like I'm at a different stage within my journey. I'm at a very different stage within my journey. Now I'm not scaling Airbnb arbitrage anymore because remember, there's 2 types of people. One that want to make more income and one makes too much income. You make too much income, you buy real estate. I'm over here, right? Because now I have a tax problem. Okay, I have a tax problem. That means so now I need to buy real estate. That's why I'm not focusing on arbitrage because arbitrage is great to build a crazy amount of cash flow, right? Cool. What if there's no bookings despite all the strategies? That's never happened. I told you, none of my students have ever lost money, period. We get pinpoint accurate, okay? Amazing, but we did it, guys. Holy crap. We went 3 hours. 3 hours. Holy crap. Do you have community on Facebook or Instagram? I just showed you guys the community. It was on Discord. Yeah, I'll shoot you guys the recording tomorrow afternoon. But awesome, guys. I hope you guys got a lot of great value. We went 3 hours. We went hard. I hope I fulfilled my promise. I told you guys this is going to be the craziest live training you'll see in 2025. And also, I promised you I was going to go through and answer all of the questions. So I'm really happy that, you know, we got a chance to go through all of it. I hope you guys had a good time. I had a really, really good time. I always love dropping value, gems, nuggets for you guys. And so last thing I'll do, I'll go and drop the link into the chat. If you guys missed it, I'm going to remind you guys to send me a DM on IG at Calvin Tran Official to just let me know you guys booked on a call. If you love the training, let me know too. I mean that. Things like that really mean a lot to me. And I had a lot of fun, guys. I just want to go and wrap up and just say I'm really excited to welcome those of you going to be joining the community and to run it up this year. I'm really, really excited to welcome you guys. And also, you know, I just want to say for everyone else, I really wish you guys, you know, the rest of the year to be very, very powerful for you to go through a lot of personal development. And, you know, the rest of the year, health, wealth, abundance. I really want you guys to be able to have it all, but I want you to work for it too, right? I'm really big on that. I have a couple of things. If you guys need the 100-point credit boosting guide, send me a DM on IG. I'll hook you guys up with that. Also, I have another great resource too. It is my favorite talk of all time, and it's all about success. And I will say success in life and in business comes down to 80% mindset and 20% skill set. And this entire training is on mindset. I highly recommend you guys watch it. To me, it's the #1 most important predictor of success. The way you think, how you make up of the world, look at the world, your habits. It's not just what you do, but what you don't do. Send me a DM for the mindset training as well. We even talk about goal setting, how to go and also do some financial projections as well. It's really cool. But in any case, guys, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. I'll go ahead and drop this link into the chat again, and I'll continue my conversations with you guys on IG. All right. Other than that, great to see you guys. Have a great Sunday. See y'all. Peace.
Rec-